What is going on, everybody? What is up? How is everyone's night going on? We're at episode 4 of Mels, Shady, Just4Bad Sportscast today. We got Lamb in the house over here masking it up, being professional. We got Hiatus over here multitasking,
What up? What
doing
up? What up?
great in here with JJ at the same time, guys, helping out the community as well. Big shout
Yes,
out to
sir.
Hiatus at the same time. Big shout out to Lamb. How's y'all nights going, guys?
Good, good.
How y'all
Good, man.
been since Tuesday? How's your week been?
Cool. All right, cool. It's been good, man.
It's been
It's
amazing. No complaints.
yeah,
Awesome,
yeah. It's been
awesome.
great.
That's always a plus to hear, guys. Always a plus to hear. Hopefully, everyone's week has been awesome as well, chat. We got a lot to catch up on today. A lot to catch up on. Biggest topic around right now is obviously the one, probably only sport besides college football and the NFL is going on right now. But we got the MLB playoffs also heating up. Both of those series are now tied up 3-3. Dodgers are currently going into Game 7 tomorrow. And Game 7 for the Rays in Houston is currently playing right now, guys. I want to say the last time I looked, the Rays were up 2-0. I'm not sure if that score has changed. I'm looking at it right now. 3-0 now Rays, guys. So that series can possibly be closed out tonight. I would hope it's going to be closed out. What are your guys' outtakes on Houston coming back and forcing this Game 7, guys?
I think that, and I believe I've said this before, but last year when they were busted for cheating, their owners came out and the upper management, the executive office basically said, we feel like our team is so good that that's not why we won. We feel like we would have won even if those things never happened. And everybody questioned it. But I feel like right now they're undoubtedly proving that their team is solid and maybe didn't need to cheat to pull off this victory.
And we've been seeing that too with one of their best players, all around players at that, with Altuve been struggling this series. Been struggling hard. Springer's been carrying that team, as a matter of fact, guys. And we've seen Springer do that, done that before multiple times in the playoffs. But Altuve's been a big struggle this year. Hiatus, what's your take on everything, man, regarding this series?
The only issue that I have, I mean, it's been great baseball. Like I said, I don't know what's going on with the conjunction of COVID and Florida teams, but we've all found ourselves in some type of championship stance so far in every season. Um, but like I was telling you guys, whenever you cheat, it always leaves that room for doubt. Like even as great as they are, and as much as they're proving themselves, it's still like in the back of everybody's mind: are they cheating? Are they finding a way to
Right.
pull this off? Like, and no, it's harder to do that in baseball than like football or basketball, but at the same time, there's still that doubt. And that's like the only thing. Like they're playing amazing baseball, but still in the back of majority of the owners and they're not saying anything now, but they're just waiting for them to slip up.
Exactly, and especially if they win this series and end up going to the World Series, like, what kind of topics are even going to
I'll take
pop up
first.
regarding that, or what's even going to go on regarding any of that? Like I said it last podcast, in my opinion, they should have been stripped of their title. They should have not been allowed into the playoffs this year, even if they had the record to do so. Kind of like what college does with them finding out that they either pay players or did this, that, and the other. They stripped their title and they banned them from bowl games for multiple years. So I was hoping to kind of see that sort of punishment, but obviously we didn't see that.
No, if we're not going to see it for all the times the Patriots been cheated, then the Houston Astros should not have any of their
Hey,
he
titles.
get
would
on
say
this
that because I'm
soapbox
wearing a
and
Patriots shirt as well, chat.
But also, and what happens is, y'all, think about if you're a head coach or a general manager of the Houston Astros. You now have everything to prove. Because
Yes.
once you get caught cheating, everyone assumes your whole team is trash. The only reason why y'all even won a game during the regular season was because y'all were cheating. But we as former athletes and current athletes, we know that's not true.
Right.
We know cheating only provides just a little bit of an edge, literally just to bring you over the top.
Exactly.
Because you could, if you're an absolute trash team and you cheat, you're not going to go to the playoffs, and you're not definitely not going to win a championship. So what we're seeing now is the championship mentality of a great baseball team. The opponent now, the Rays, they have their back up against the wall.
This is true.
What's going in your head if you're on the opposite side of the Astros? All this stuff begins to come in your head. Yep. Are they cheating? Is this why we're losing? There's no way they can come back on us like this. They must be cheating again. You're trying to blame everything but yourselves for your lack of adjustment making. The Astros have made necessary adjustments.
They have.
Now all the pressure is on the Rays to counter those adjustments. Every team in every sport that has ever won a championship has simply been better at one thing, and that's making adjustments. That's it. It's not that they have better athletes or anything like that. The year that the Patriots beat the Falcons, I know we're not talking about the NFL, but the Patriots did not have better athletes than the Atlanta Falcons did.
No.
The Falcons had the better athletes.
Stacked.
The same thing with Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers. They had the better athletes on their team.
Yep.
But necessary adjustments were made.
Exactly. And that's another topic as well, is with the Houston making those adjustments. If they do pull this game off tonight, Chad, they will be the first team since the 04 Red Sox, my Red Sox. So 16 years later, to come back from a 3-0 deficit and to win a series. The Red Sox were the last team to do that 16 years ago against the New York Yankees. No other team has done that since. So if they do win this game tonight, that's going to be a huge topic as well. They'll end up being in history with the Red Sox in doing so, as the second team in history to only do that. Right now, like I said, they're down 3-0 currently. It is currently the top of the fifth right now. And Dodgers won today 3-1 against the Braves, like we said, to force a Game 7 as well. They play tomorrow. These games have been consistent back-to-back games. So obviously been seeing a little less runs being scored. The wear and tear has been showing, obviously. We knew the Dodgers weren't going to just not show up and not play, obviously. They've been here too many times. They've had so many chances to win a World Series and not get that World Series in recent years. What's your guys' takes on tomorrow's game? Kershaw hasn't pitched this series as well. He got pulled in Game 2 because of back spasms. I'm not sure who the starter is for tomorrow's game. I'm going to look into that, but Hiatus, what's your take on the Dodgers coming back and forcing a Game 7, considering we've been seeing them struggle hardcore this series?
Listen, I mean, it's the Dodgers pedigree. It's like Lamb said, man, when it comes down to it, it's making those adjustments that are necessary in order for, for teams to, sorry. Sorry. But yeah, it's up to them to make those adjustments. And once they make those adjustments, it's pretty much over. Anytime that you're in a best of 7 series and you got a team down, let's say you got them down 3-1, you got them down 3-0.
Right.
Once they get back into like a 3-2, you panic. Now you don't say it, but there's a panic that seeps in because you're like, yo, we just beat them 3 times.
Right.
There's no way that they could beat us consistently after we just beat them 3 times. And then you get into a Game 7 situation. It's like, yo, this is like, kill or this is over.
Right.
So,
and it's like what you were saying. It's the questions start rolling in their heads. What are they doing wrong? What can they adjust? What can they do better? And everything starts getting to them, especially when the in-game errors or runs that shouldn't have gotten through start piling up, and it starts affecting them in that same way as well.
Yeah. And Clayton Kershaw, like, I'm sorry. It's the playoffs.
Listen,
It's the
Big
playoffs.
facts.
Let hiatus grab first,
Back
because
spasms, bro. There's
otherwise it's
pills
gonna
for
go.
that. You can take a muscle relaxer to stop that. Like back spasms,
Exactly.
you
Get a
could take some.
cortisone shot.
Bro, seriously, like
The
back
first week
spasms
for the
in the
muscles.
playoffs. I need you to man up, bro. It's the playoffs.
That and
Take a pill.
you're one of the best
No, I
pitchers in
was
the
there. I
league
was
when you're
going.
pitching no matter
You
what, if
jumped
you're hurt or
before me.
not. And
Exactly. Get
Yeah,
a
you don't
the
do
prescription
Dodgers
the
for
are
right
Flexeril.
undecided right now for Game 7 on their pitcher, so we may see Clayton Kershaw tomorrow. Atlanta's already got their starting pitcher named in Ian Anderson, but Dodgers don't have a named starter yet for Game 7, so maybe we do see Clayton Kershaw. But exactly, he needs to man up. He needs to get a cortisone shot.
Yeah, Clayton.
He
I'm
needs to
talking
do
to you,
something.
bro,
He cannot be
because I know
missing
you're
a
watching.
playoff game when they've been like we were just talking about. They've been in this chance so many times. They know what they need to do. They've been here multiple years now. They
Plus,
can't
with
afford to have their
downtime.
best player on that team to be missing a game in a very
Correct.
affordable game.
Correct. Clayton, I
True.
know you're watching this. I know you're in chat right now, so listen to me when I'm talking to you.
Lean in.
All right. I was a nurse. For back spasms or neck spasms, you can take diclofenac 50 milligram tablet. You can take cyclobenzaprine 10 milligram tablet. You could, stretch, get a massage, acupuncture, get in the game. You're throwing. Get in the.
Big
It's back
time.
spasms, bro. You're throwing. I have neck spasms. Guess what I take? Diclofenac, cyclobenzaprine, and I'm in the gym and I play football, bro.
When I was out with
Get
my
in the game.
medical in the beginning of the year and had my back spasms, they put me on the same thing, cyclomethophrine.
Yep. That's
So,
not an excuse. Either
no,
something
not at
else
all.
is going on with Clayton Kershaw that they're afraid that if they knew that he was really injured and it wasn't just spasms, that they would change their whole strategy, or I don't know. It doesn't seem plausible that that's the reason why he's sitting is because of back spasms. Because one
Shot
pill
the
can
wrong
take
one.
care of that for 6 hours.
Oh, easily. And you know you're not going to be pitching a complete game because of
Yeah.
you've already got back spasms. You're going to be 4 or 5 innings. You're going to be on a pitch limit. Like there's absolutely no reason to miss that
No
game
reason.
whatsoever.
No
Because in
reason.
Game 2, they ended up losing that game 8-7. Imagine if Clayton Kershaw was in that game. Atlanta doesn't score those 8 runs.
Yeah. They might
Hurt
get
or
3 or
not,
4, but
Kershaw is
definitely
still
not 8.
a good enough pitcher to dominate that game and knows what he needs to do.
Yeah. But I think there might be another injury that they're not telling us about.
I agree.
That's what
Absolutely
I'm thinking.
agree.
Because he wouldn't be sitting out in the playoffs due to back spasms. There's
No.
something else going on.
There's something. Yeah, I agree. 100%. So that's something to look forward to tomorrow, guys. That game is at 6:15 my time. So that's 8:15 Eastern, 5:15 if you're on the West Coast. And like we were just talking about, LA currently doesn't have a pitcher name for Game 7, so that's something going to be stay tuned in for as well. If it is Kershaw, it's obviously going to be a very good game. He needs to show up. He obviously hasn't pitched this series. He needs to come in no matter what. They need to name him the starter, get it over with, and he needs to show up. And that's what needs to happen for LA. And that's what's going to win this Game 7 for them. And if he doesn't show up, Atlanta wins this series, in my opinion.
Correct. I agree. 100%.
On to our next topic, guys. The NFL was absolutely crazy. We saw a wild game. Lamb called it. I was not expecting
Say it again.
myself. Lamb called it. Was not expecting myself, the Buffalo Bills, to get beat up like that against the Tennessee Titans, especially how good that Buffalo defense is. I was expecting a close game. In the first quarter, Buffalo turned the ball over on the first drive. The Titans ended up scoring. Buffalo immediately drove down the field and scored right after that. So I'm like, all right, this is going to be a good game. This looks pretty decent. Buffalo didn't do anything after that, chat. They didn't show up. Josh Norman ended up getting a stiff arm from a whole nother planet from Derrick Henry and ended
Feels
up
bad.
getting time warp, basically. They pretty much announced and tweeted all over that he should have been the second best Buffalo Bill to retire at halftime, you guys. The tweets in the rampage got that bad. They said he basically should have retired and basically don't show up next week. That it was nasty. It was dirty.
It was.
I was not expecting that blowout, like I was just talking about. Lamb called it though. Lamb, let's hear about it, man. What the hell happened to the Buffalo Bills on Tuesday? Was it
I'm glad
was
you
it the
asked that
layoff,
question.
or was like what happened?
I'll tell you what happened. The Bills have 2 good players on their team. Three good players on their team. Okay? They have one great defensive Milano. Then they have the quarterback. And then they have Stephon Diggs, who's been lighting it up.
Yes, he has.
The reason why they've looked like superstars from hence up until last week's game or earlier this week's game is because they haven't played anybody. They have not played a real football team until they ran up against the Tennessee Titans. So for me, I never believe. I know what was that old thing that I think it was Jimmy Johnson said or whatever, like you are what your record says it is. False. Yes. False. Yeah. I don't agree with that because if I only play little children and I'm undefeated, I am not that great because as soon as I face a grown man, I lose. And Buffalo Bills, they've been playing children. They beat teams without winning records. And as soon as they faced one football team that had a solid winning record and good players, good O-line, good D-line, one of the best running backs in the league, they got molly stomped into oblivion.
Where's Ryan Tannehill coming from? Because we didn't see this in Miami. Ever since he got to Tennessee, that dude has been showing out, guys.
Like, they finally gave him a good running back.
What turned into Ryan Tannehill?
No, they gave him a good running back. You can be the greatest running back in the world, but if you don't have, you could be the greatest quarterback in the world, but if you don't have a running back to open that up so they can bite on the play action and you can actually get some good looks, then it doesn't matter. Even Aaron Rodgers can't go out there and throw every single down. Not every single down.
Aaron Jones was a godsend for him.
Dude, he really was. Because remember what happened when Aaron Jones didn't have a running back? Who was the last good running back they have? Man, what was his freaking name?
I have it on the tip of my tongue. What was his name?
Oh my gosh. Packers.
But I will also add this as well. When it comes to Florida teams, and I'm talking about Miami, I'm talking about Jacksonville, I'm talking about Tampa. Quarterback coaches has always been an Achilles heel of Florida teams.
Eddie Lacy was the last good running back.
Eddie Lacy. That's right. Eddie Lacy. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that's been the Achilles heel for all Florida teams is their quarterback coaches are horrible.
Facts.
So what happens is once a quarterback leaves from one of the Florida organizations, they go and they get an actual quarterback coach, and then we start to see them excel and start to see them do things that they never did when they were here. It's just that they pay attention to those type of things. Here with like Miami, with Tampa, soon as the team starts to go south, they get rid of the coaches, they get rid of the offensive coach, the quarterback coach, and it's like you can't.
They go to the backup quarterback, which we haven't seen yet, which really surprises me. Honestly, we haven't seen Tua yet, which I was honestly expecting to see that, but at least by now, it kind of questions me if that injury for his hip is still affecting that or not, considering that was a very serious injury that he took when he was with Alabama. We wonder if that plays a factor on why he hasn't gotten the opportunity yet, considering we're on that topic of the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
Well, it's because the Miami Dolphins have won their last 3 games in a row. There's going to be no Tua in sight until they get on a losing streak.
Struggle in the beginning of the season, though.
Yeah, we won't. They started off 0-2, and then they won their last 3 games in a row. Right. So they beat the Jaguars.
Which the Jags have been dismantling that team, so that was going to be a toss-up game either way.
They went 2-1 in their last 3. I forgot they did get stomped by the Seattle Seahawks, but they scored 23 points on the Seattle Seahawks.
Surprising.
Yeah. And they barely lost to the Bills 28-31.
Yeah.
Like, they barely lost that game.
And the Bills have been a top 5 defense. Not obviously
Yep.
anymore, considering that they got smashed
Stiff
this
arm.
week.
Look at their division.
Yeah,
Look at their division.
within the division. Or not
Yep.
within division. Yeah, well, technically AFC, but not in the same division.
Yeah. So they're going to take on the Jets tomorrow. That's a win. Then they're going to get stomped by the Rams the following week. Then they're going to get beat by the Cardinals the following week. Then they're going to get beat by the Chargers the following week. And then they'll beat the Broncos, and then they'll beat the Jets. Like, they're going to keep going 2 wins, 2 losses, 2 wins, 2 losses. That's how their schedule is set up. But we will not see Tua until the head coaching staff and everybody know that they have an actual chance to be a wild card team in the playoffs. So once they know that's almost guaranteed, if Fitzpatrick then goes out there and starts lighting the pick 6 up,
right,
then they'll be like, we actually have a chance
we've
here.
We've seen multiple times, but we've also seen, which we haven't seen yet, the true Fitz magic that we saw a couple of years ago in Tampa. We saw that dude in the first 4 or 5 games light it up, and we haven't seen that Fitz magic yet this year. So you wonder if we're going to see that as well.
I don't even call it Fitz magic, because I'll tell you what, the first 4 or 5 games of the NFL season almost do not matter.
True.
They almost don't
and
matter.
Especially this year, because there is no preseason. There is no warm-up. So you know the first few games are going to be pretty rough or high-scoring and a lot of turnovers.
Correct.
Which oddly, the first week, we saw a lot less flags than we normally don't see, which they actually said there was like 50 less flags in the first week.
Yeah, the refs are actually letting them play football. There's about 3 flags less per game.
Which is very surprising. It's considering how rough they've been on the players the last couple of years on just tossing everything and everything. It's kind of nice to see it go back to the almost original football, besides all the rule changes that we've seen in recent years.
True that.
Next topic on the NFL list, guys. We're looking at this week's matchups. We didn't have any Thursday game, obviously, because of all the changes been going on. Buffalo was originally supposed to play on, I want to say this Thursday, but they moved their game out to the Monday game against the Chiefs. That way their schedule isn't so tight, because they're already on a tight schedule anyways. They actually play short weeks in the next 2 weeks. So they've had to do major readjustments for that team to even get them situated to even play the next 2 weeks. It's been absolutely crazy regarding that, and it's kind of rough. I don't understand why they won't change anything regarding that. We've been talking about that in recent weeks. But going into the matchups this weekend, guys, we've actually got a lot of key matchups going into this week. One of the biggest matchups, in my opinion, you guys can probably back me on this as well, is going to be the Green Bay and Tampa Bay game. That's probably going to be the best matchup this week, in my opinion. Both fairly decent and solid teams, and they're at Tampa. Green Bay's been on a tear. They just got off a bye week this week. Other good games, the second probably best game as well is going to be the Cleveland and Pittsburgh game. Cleveland's been playing really good. They just beat the Dallas Cowboys last week. We saw that horrific injury with Dak Prescott. He posted a video the other day, said everything's been going well. He's been doing good, which is really good to see. It's going to be interesting to see how Dallas comes about that, because they have a tough matchup against the Arizona Cardinals on Monday as well. Andy Dalton was named the starting quarterback for that team.
I thought that was a joke.
That is not a joke.
That is not a joke. Okay.
Not yet, anyway.
We'll get into a little bit more topic in that here in a second. But the other decent game that's on this list is Houston and Tennessee. It's a divisional game. Houston showed out last week after firing their coach. They looked really good. And they've got a divisional matchup against Tennessee. They've always played Tennessee tough. That's always a really good game. So it's going to be interesting to see how well they play this week regarding that, and if they can keep that momentum going, considering everything that's been going on in that organization. hiatus, do you see any other games or any other topics in the NFL that you want to talk about that's a hot topic right now?
Nothing that I can really say. Like I said, I'm really looking forward to the Bucks and the Packers game, and I really think that Aaron Rodgers is going to show his pedigree.
I believe so too. That dude's been on a tear lately.
Yep.
And Aaron Jones, like we were just talking about, guys, has been an absolute godsend for that guy. Been lighting it up. He's been lighting it up in the league for the last 3 years now. Um, Lamb, what's your takes on any other games or your opinions going on right now in the NFL? I do have a couple more topics we want to talk about, but I want to get you guys' opinions as well.
I agree that Aaron Rodgers is going to come out and he is going to throw lights out against Tampa Bay. Um, Tom Brady will also throw lights out against Green Bay, but here's the thing. The Packers are just more healthy on offense and defense than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers
And
are.
they just got off a bye week as well.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers is currently ranked the number 5 quarterback in the league right now, but Tom Brady is at number 9, even with all their team's injuries.
And the
They are
struggles
both,
that we've seen in the few weeks too, with him
yeah,
throwing pick sixes,
yep,
come from behind wins, struggling in a couple of games.
yep.
But we've always
It's
seen that from Tom Brady in the last few years, though, and the topic always rises. Well, has Tom Brady done? Hey, is this the last of Tom Brady? And every time they talk about it, guys, and it comes up, we already know it's going to come up because it comes up every single year, and
yep.
it lights a fire under that dude's ass, and he goes off, and we see it every single year.
I think
And
he's already more than proved that he has a lot of gas left in the tank.
he does, and
I think Brady's already proved that.
I think he pissed himself off by throwing those pick sixes and realized, like, yo, we've got a talented team. I can't be doing this. I need to make smarter plays. I need to get these guys the ball, and we need to win these games. And we've been seeing that those last couple of weeks. Mike Evans, Tom Brady's throwing that dude the ball deep. And we haven't seen Brady do that since Randy Moss. Brady's been a duck and dive passer for the last 15-year guy. Well, not almost 15 years. I would say about 10 years. And to see him throw the deep ball again is pretty good. But he needs to get the accuracy down again like we used to see, because he's overthrowing balls to Michael Thomas
Yeah.
and also to Chris Godwin when it should have been for sure touchdowns. So hopefully we can see those connections get a little bit better. And like I said, the topic's going to pop up regarding Tom Brady, and we're going to see a different Tom Brady here in the second half of the season. And it's always been that way for the last few years.
Aaron Rodgers has a Super Bowl team right now.
Yes, he does.
Um,
That
if you
defense
look
is
at his
underrated.
squad, it is. It really is.
That
If
defense
you
is
look at his
very
squad when
underrated.
he won the Super Bowl, this team can go toe to toe with his former Super Bowl team.
Yes,
Aaron Rodgers
absolutely.
is protected. He's
Clay
not getting
Matthews, in my
sacked a
opinion,
lot.
was very overrated for that team when he was playing.
Yeah. And Aaron Rodgers is the only quarterback in the league, I believe, don't quote me on this because I haven't officially checked the stats, but I believe since Patrick Mahomes threw his few interceptions, I believe now Aaron Rodgers is the only quarterback in the league this season with 0 picks.
I want to say you're right. I want to say Aaron Rodgers
0.
hasn't thrown a touchdown yet this year.
I believe he is
He's
like
the only physical,
14 or 15
actually
touchdowns,
named starter in
no
the league
picks.
not to throw a pick this year.
I believe that.
Which is absolutely insane because we're
It's
in week
insane.
6 now.
Well, it's
And
insane because we're in
for
week
how-
6 and he's been without Devontae Adams.
Yeah,
We're in week
for
6
the
and
last
he's been
3 weeks
without
now?
Devontae Adams. Yeah, and he still has no picks.
3.5 because he got hurt at halftime and didn't come back.
Yeah. So that says something. This team is good.
Alan
Okay.
Lazard is very underrated for that team as well. Every time that Devontae Adams goes out, Aaron Rodgers looks to that dude, and he'll have hit and miss games, and Aaron Rodgers will look at him and be like, dude, like, I need you. And then the next game, he absolutely blows everybody out the water. And we've been seeing that. but he does need Devontae Adams back. Not sure if he's back this week or not. I know he was questionable for that. Looking into that right now.
And this would be a different team, but this is how important the run game is. Without Aaron Jones, this team doesn't look this good. They still might win games, but this team doesn't look this good without Aaron Jones because Aaron
No,
Jones is a
absolutely
freaking
not.
monster.
Monster.
You have to plan for him. You have to plan for him. The guy can catch out of the backfield. He can run straight up the middle, and he can run laterally.
Considering through 3 weeks he's only got 374 yards, the dude can go off for a 200-yard game at any given moment.
Yep. But even look at it. But look at his receiving yards as well. You got to look at his receiving yards as well because that's what makes him a special guy, not just a rushing guy.
He's a two-way player, and him and McCaffrey in the league right now are probably the best two-way running backs in the game as far as competitiveness and how reliable they are.
Yep.
And as far as Devontae Adams goes, guys, I don't see him on the injury list. It looks like he is going to be back for this week, which is a very key matchup. Leonard Fournette is out for that game, or questionable for this game, actually. So we may see a full dosage of Ronald Jones again, which has been fairly decent for the Buccaneers this year. Before they even signed Leonard Fournette, they said Ronald Jones was going to be the number one back to begin with anyways. And so far, it's been paying off for them. Leonard Fournette had that one really good game, but he's been out ever since with an injury. And he's still currently questionable. As far as other NFL news goes, guys, the one big news.
I will be right back. Let me grab my charger because my phone is dying.
All right, you're good.
All right.
There's two big topics, actually, chat. Le'Veon Bell got released by the Jets earlier this week, right before free agency. Or not right before free agency, but right before the trade deadline. And then speculation was he was going to sign with the Dolphins, the Bills, or the Kansas City Chiefs. He goes and signs with the Kansas City Chiefs. Even though Clyde Edwards-Helaire has been having a decent season. He hasn't been the outspoken back just for say that they were expecting him to be. And Le'Veon Bell signing there, as long as he can stay healthy, is going to be a very key piece for that team, considering Damian Williams sat out this year with the COVID issues and everything going on. Because Damian Williams was obviously the number one running back there for that team. Dude's been a monster for them. And him sitting out for COVID really messed them up, and that's why they drafted Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And I think with him struggling in the recent weeks, and then with Le'Veon getting released, they had no option but to go after a person like Le'Veon Bell. He's going to be a very key piece for that team. He's a very patient running back. They've got a good offensive line. And they have the best quarterback in the league in Patrick Mahomes, who can make plays from any which way, even if he's not looking at you. Dude's gifted and talented. And to get a patient running back that's gifted and talented like that, as long as he can stay healthy, is going to be very dangerous because they already have so many weapons on that team already. With the signing of that, they're obviously, again, the number one favorite to win the Super Bowl. That's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That obviously raises their stock so much. Besides his locker room habits and having his tendencies to speak out, Lamb had a big take on this right before we were talking about it. Lamb, what's your take on the Chiefs signing Le'Veon Bell, even with all of his recent issues in the last couple of years with locker room issues, calling teammates out, calling coaches out? Is that gonna affect the Kansas City Chiefs, and will we see that Le'Veon Bell with the Kansas City Chiefs, or are we gonna see the early Pittsburgh Le'Veon Bell where he's healthy and he's going to show out and it's going to be a different Le'Veon Bell?
I will tell you, Le'Veon Bell going with the Kansas City Chiefs is a win-win-win-win-win situation. because the number one rule if you're on a sports team and there's locker room issues is hiatus. Answer this for me. If your team is a winning team, do you have any of those issues in the locker room?
No, you don't.
Nope. The reason why Le'Veon Bell had those issues in New York, the reason why Odell Beckham had those issues in New York, the reason why Des Bryant had those issues in the locker room in Dallas is because the teams were not winning.
Facts. And with the Jets being forced to pass as much as they were because they were down in almost every single opportunity of the game, Le'Veon had every right to speak out on,
Yep.
yeah, I sat out for 2 weeks, but why am I not getting the ball? I can pass out the backfield or catch out the backfield. He can even pass. We saw it in Pittsburgh. He's passed for a couple touchdowns in his career.
Even if he's getting the ball, stop. The only thing that the Jets should be drafting when you sign Le'Veon Bell is an offensive line.
Yes.
You get Le'Veon Bell and then you draft a quarterback, and where's your O-line?
Nowhere.
Where's your O-line?
Sam Darnold running for his life.
Running for his life, bro. Running for his life. Cincinnati, please pay attention to what's happening.
Joe Burrow running
because
for his life.
Joe Mixon, AJ Green, Tyler Boyd, they will all leave your organization.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Build a freaking O-line and protect your quarterback and stop making Joe Mixon look like trash when he's
AJ's
really
already
not.
going to leave, I believe. By the trade deadline, that dude's out.
Well, see, I think when it comes to that, like if you think about football history and you think about some of the greats like Barry Sanders when he was with Detroit, the things that Barry Sanders was able to do, and they had a trash offensive line.
Cool.
He wanted to leave, but they would not allow him to leave.
Right.
He literally had to retire, and he couldn't come back into the league because they told him if he came back, he would have to honor his contract.
Yep.
So,
and they weren't going to trade him if he did.
You have these elite backs and quarterbacks, but then they don't surround them with the tools that they need in order for them to win. And then they look at them like, oh, you're just not good. No, you're not giving me the tools that I need. So Le'Veon Bell going to a team like Kansas City, they have a championship pedigree.
Yep.
Because they won a championship, the locker room is completely different.
Yep.
You're not going to come in telling them what to do when they just won a championship.
Exactly.
So that's why the tone and the mood when he came in is like, yo, I'm just happy to be a part of a winning organization.
Correct.
Like I've had to struggle long enough. Exactly. Like I'm just happy to be a part of something that y'all are going to tell me what you expect of me. I'm going to know what's going on. I'm not going to have to guess. I'm not going to have to figure it out. Everything is kind of laid out. And then, like what Lamb was saying, then now that you have a functional running back and Le'Veon Bell that's going to give you something special, and you add in the fact that now Patrick Mahomes, that whole thing that the Raiders did where they were able to drop back in coverage, this would have given them the advantage or the edge because you can't do that because you got to pay attention to Le'Veon Bell.
Yep.
And now the pass action or play action becomes more formidable.
Oh man!
Like we were just talking about with Le'Veon being so patient, he can sit in the backfield for 5 seconds and then dip out on a wheel route, and he's already up the field 20 yards when nobody's near him.
And here's something else important that we haven't even touched on in going in with this trade. This pickup for Le'Veon Bell does not happen if Patrick Mahomes doesn't ask for it and want it.
Okay?
Agreed.
That does not happen. You just signed Patrick Mahomes to the greatest contract that any player in NFL history has ever done. This move happens because Patrick Mahomes calls Andy Reid and says, yo, we need this guy help. Because we got this rookie, but he needs to learn a little bit from a veteran. You know what I mean?
Right.
Let's let Le'Veon get back there and show Clive what he can do.
And Darrell's
you know what I mean?
obviously not that option because Darrell's only been in the league for a few years as well and hasn't had that many touches, obviously.
Who's better? Who better in the NFL to teach a young rookie who will be a superstar running back than Le'Veon Bell? Who better? Like, this move happens because Patrick Mahomes makes a phone call. If Patrick Mahomes did not want this, this would not be happening right now, and I think that's important as well.
Big facts.
Patrick
Big
Mahomes
facts.
and Le'Veon Bell, they're going to have great chemistry.
And I
Yep.
believe so, because we even talked about this before we even hit this topic, is Mahomes is so gifted. He doesn't even have to be looking at you to even give you the ball. We've seen that multiple times in the last couple of years with how gifted and good this guy is. And being able to have a patient quarterback like Mahomes and then getting a patient running back like that with a Le'Veon Bell, their offense is already stacked at the wide receiver spot and tight end spot. So to get a gifted guy like that in the background and to get Mahomes out of trouble when he needs to and not huck the ball down the field when he needs to, and to have a person like Le'Veon Bell to break tackles, to spin move you, to stiff arm you even, or truck you. If he gets in the open field, he can make everything hurt for you. And it's going to be very interesting to see because that offense is already open as it is.
And then we also have to address the elephant in the room. And I think that this was back on was it the third or second podcast, and No Lamb mentioned this before, and he talked about the inefficiency of Kansas City's defense and how that would hold them when they came against a stacked team such as like the Raiders were. But here's the thing that they realize: if I can't beat you defensively, I can outscore you.
Yep.
Adding someone like Le'Veon Bell, that automatically guarantees you about 2 to 3 touchdowns.
And when
Dude, it almost doubles your offensive production.
Right.
It almost doubles it.
And when he
Literally,
was
it almost
healthy in
doubles it.
Pittsburgh, he was
Right,
the
like-
number one scoring running back in the league when he was healthy before he went through all those injuries and all those dramatics and getting off at everybody.
Well, look at what Le'Veon Bell did the last time he was with a Super Bowl caliber championship, well-organized run team with a Hall of Fame quarterback and a Hall of Fame wide receiver. Yeah, he's with that again. Patrick Mahomes, future Hall of Famer. Tyreek Hill, future Hall of Famer.
Travis
Well-coached.
Kelce.
Andy Reid, same thing. Same
Right.
thing. Bro, it's going to be absolutely ridiculous. It really
Yeah.
is.
But like I said,
like
it
we were
gives
just
them that
talking about.
opportunity. It gives them that opportunity to not concern themselves, because there's not much they can do about the defense right now.
Yeah,
Like,
at all.
your defense is your defense.
And they've
Yeah.
had hurt
And, there's
pieces on
not-
that defense as well that haven't played in the last couple of weeks. So we've also got to give them that, and they're going to get those pieces back too.
Yeah, well, they also
Yeah,
lost
but
some people
they're
after
gonna
the
get
Super
some
Bowl,
rust
too.
with those pieces
yeah,
too.
piece of
Yeah.
dudes to leave. But as far as this season goes, early in the season they did lose a couple of key pieces. So we've seen that defense obviously be more suspect than what we saw late in the playoffs last year when that defense was on point and they were getting to the quarterback and making turnovers. Once they get those pieces back, even though they lost a couple of pieces, I think they're still going to be a solid defense, and we're going to get back to that playoff defense that we saw last year, I believe.
But see, the thing is, where we are right now going into this is week 6, right?
Yes, this is
We're in
week
week
6.
6. So we're going into week 6. This is crucial. So they can't wait for the defense to get it together. So they literally have to hang their hat on the fact that they have to be able to outscore the teams that they're going to play. And that's kind of their mentality. If we can outscore, because we've seen this with the Saints, they were able to pull this off.
Right.
And they were able to outscore teams that, because their defense wasn't the best. They had holes, they had injuries, but they were still able to outscore them en route to a deep playoff run. So that's their mentality right now. If you're looking at the reason for them going after Le'Veon Bell is we have to outscore the teams. We cannot hang our hat on defense. We can't get into a situation that they put Mahomes in where it's like, okay, last couple seconds, we need you to march down the field,
Right.
and take this home. No, we need to be up to 3 touchdowns. And then if something happened, oh well, it's just 1 touchdown. It still was a 3-possession game. Like that's their mentality, the way that they're trying to stretch this out. And of course, once they get those pieces back, things may change around. They may be a little bit more conservative, but I can definitely picture them being a lot more aggressive now with them having Le'Veon Bell in that lineup.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they didn't really need him. It just, if you can get a piece for way cheaper than you normally would, and he greatly improves your team, why not pick him up? You know what I
Well, and
mean?
that's the crazy thing that was about it, because before he left the Jets, he was the highest salary cap paid running back in the league. So for him to be smart and actually not think about the money for once and go to a team and be like, all right, let me fix my stuff, let me do things right, and actually be a team player and go actually be on a Super Bowl caliber team and win a championship possibly.
Yeah.
Well, you also have to keep in fact because now there are things that he said. One of the things that he said on social media was he had a lot to prove,
Yes, and he
and
does have a lot to
that is
prove.
and that's more of a shot at Pittsburgh because remember, this all started with him holding out for his money,
Yep.
Yep.
expecting his payday, and them releasing him and letting him go. So he's been on a roller coaster since leaving Pittsburgh because he was trying to get what he felt he was worth, even though
Exactly.
everybody was saying, "Oh, you've been in the league too long. You're a running back. You don't deserve this amount. You need to take what they give you." And he was like, "No." So now it's like, okay, I have a chance to get on to allow a Super Bowl team to repeat because I mean, when's the last time we seen a Super Bowl team repeat? Like
Yeah.
It's
Long
it's
time.
been like
Long
since
time.
the
exactly.
Patriots, I believe.
so
I think it's been that
so
long actually, since the 03-04.
right. So now you got a chance to get them to that next level for them to repeat. So now when it comes to talking about money, enough said. Like
It's big
when you
facts.
came in, you took us to another level. Whether he decides to stay with Kansas City or go to another team, he's already wrote his destiny, and that's kind of his personal trajectory. Is like, I got to get out here and show them and prove that when I held out for that money, that it was deserved.
And the other thing to bring up about that topic too is if you look at running back paid history, they're not even top 5 paid running backs in the league. Quarterback's
No,
number 1, offensive line is number 2. Your either cornerback or defensive line is going to be number 3, and then vice versa will be number 4, and then your wide receiver is going to be number 5.
right.
If not in a mixed match between 3, 4, and 5 in that order, since everything's been going crazy lately in the last couple of years with pay rates. But the running backs have not been nearly paid as. I get where he was coming from. Running backs aren't appreciated, and they do deserve to be paid more. But Le'Veon was way out of reach what he was asking for, and it came to prove that. And it's finally good to see him actually be smart and not take the money for once.
Oh, just hold on to that thought. We'll circle back next year.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll
And
see
here,
what
We'll
happens
circle
here's
after
back
this
next year
1-year
and close this
contract
off.
after he wins a
here's
Super Bowl.
here's
Right.
also something that's going to be crazy about the Le'Veon Bell situation out of Pittsburgh, right? They didn't want to pay him any money, so they let him walk. They're like, we're going to take a chance without you. By the way, without James Conner making no money on any contract, that's the only reason why they let Le'Veon Bell walk. That's the only reason.
True.
But also now both teams become winners, right? Both teams are right. Pittsburgh was right not to sign Le'Veon Bell to a long-term deal because how many times has he been hurt just since he's been with the Jets, bro?
True.
How many times has he not been playing? And his stats with the Jets are horrendous. But now
Bad.
Le'Veon
And we
Bell
had that
gets to
topic to where they
become
couldn't use him though.
now Le'Veon Bell gets to become one of the only few running backs in the league who's going to play for multiple teams and have a Super Bowl with each. I'm
Right.
just saying. I'm just saying.
He's
Not a
got
lot of
probably
players
in
that do
this
that.
case with that signing, besides the Green Bay Packers, obviously with how good they've been, they probably have at least a 60% chance of winning the Super Bowl this year. And then Green Bay's probably got the other percentage, in my opinion. As of right now, a lot of things have changed, and it's looking like as far as everything's going, And as long as those two teams stay healthy, it's looking like a Green Bay Kansas City Super Bowl.
Close. I think we're close. I know Kansas City's offense has proved that they are going to be a contender, and they might have just doubled the authenticity of that offense. But defense is still going to play a big role in the AFC.
Yes, true.
More so in the AFC than the NFC. So I'm still leaning towards Pittsburgh. And I'm even looking at the defense of the Tennessee Titans because even their defense looks pretty stout. So I still don't see Kansas City. I mean, I love Patrick Mahomes. He is honest, even though I'm a diehard Cowboys fan.
He's
Patrick
got a good
Mahomes
point too. He said
he's my favorite player.
Pittsburgh's been showing out this year too. I mean,
Pittsburgh is my number one.
They do have in the AFC, as far as the standings go and as far as healthiness goes and how stacked the teams are, and especially seeing rookie wide receiver show the out for Pittsburgh and be another weapon for Roethlisberger on that team.
And in the NFC,
Pittsburgh has a very good chance at throwing off Kansas City this year as long as they can stay healthy. That's the biggest key factor for Pittsburgh.
And let's not forget about the Rams in the NFC, please. Let's not forget about the LA Rams. They are a well-coached,
and that's the other key factor for the Rams
football.
too. They have to stay healthy.
Yeah. They are a solid football team. Offense and defense, the Rams are stacked. They are super stacked. And it looks like they're figuring out on that D-line what to do to actually get to the quarterback. What did they get? 7 sacks last week or something like that, I believe?
It was up there. It was bad.
It was ridiculous.
Bad.
It was ridiculous.
It was a jailbreak.
The other bigger topic in the NFL, guys, is there's going to be no Melvin Gordon this week. Yeah, I knew that was gonna come up.
You see that?
I knew that was gonna come up.
Oh, I'm sorry, Geek. I don't think that's gonna happen, bro. I don't think the 49ers make it to another NFC championship in like maybe another 4 or 5 years, bro.
At least.
Ugh. Did you see the way the head coach was shaking his head after Garoppolo threw some of the footballs that he threw? Bro, it was like when Danny Green missed that shot, that corner held it up, and LeBron James walked off the court shaking his head. That's what the coach of the 49ers did, bro. After Jimmy Garoppolo threw some of them footballs, he was like, oh.
Kind of like how LeBron always was shaking his head when the Lakers are getting beat on the sideline.
Yeah,
He'd
bro.
be sitting there on the sideline, a dumb play would happen, he'd be like,
He's like,
yeah.
Give him that Joe Smith.
Sunshine,
that
I gotta
J.R.
open
Smith
another
face.
drink. I got you. Let me catch up in chat, guys. We got a lot of chatters in here tonight. I love it.
Geek, I didn't know you were a
it.
49ers fan, though.
Yeah, Geek, I did not know that, man. Why didn't you bring that up in the last stream?
That's
we were
crazy,
talking about
bro.
the 49ers last stream, too, actually, with all their injuries.
Even as a Cowboys fan, Geek, I don't like the 49ers, but I respect their diehard fans because the 49ers have had some of the greatest football teams that the NFL has ever seen, bro.
Yes.
Ever seen.
Yo, CB
Young and Joe Montana.
CB, thank you, man. Oh, thank you for that gifted sub, dude. You didn't have to do that.
Wait, CB's the Washington football team, right?
Yes, CB, the Washington football team. That's another topic, guys. I want to see some more Alex Smith.
Oh, man.
CB, I love you,
gotta
buddy.
see some more Alex Smith.
It's me, Lamb. You know, Titans up. I love you, but
Geek
the
said
Washington
since he was
football
6,
team?
my friend had cancer. Kid Make-A-Wish Foundation had Joe Montana come in and spend all day in childhood with my friend and I. That is amazing, Geek.
That's
especially
crazy.
as such of a role model that he is too. That's a once in a lifetime opportunity, and that's. I wouldn't even have any words for that if that were to happen in my life. Like, what do you do in that situation? Like,
Thank you.
Yo, Joe Montana is standing right in front of me.
Right.
Thank
you.
What do I even say?
You.
Like, what do I even say?
Just hug it out, hug it out, hug it out, hug it out.
That's funny.
Sometimes words aren't needed, man.
Butts has a
That's
question
one of
for
those
you, Lamb. He
situations
says,
that's
"Why the
just like,
mask inside?" He says, "You passing Taco Bell gas or something?"
No, I'm trying to promote people wearing masks because COVID is a real thing, y'all. Like on my streams, I try to wear a mask. I do take it off occasionally if you were in my last
Chat.
stream or whatever, just
Should
to
we
breathe.
join him with the
But
Celtics mask?
but COVID-19, that is a real thing, and I'm
Should
trying
we
to
join
promote people actually wearing masks. It's not over. When you go out in public to the grocery store, when you go
Sunshine
get
says,
something
"Do
to
it."
eat,
Do we do it?
to the park or whatever,
we do
please wear your mask, yo.
Do we do
Please
it?
wear your mask.
Let's promote with Lamb, guys.
I'm
Let's
not gonna
promote
name
with Lamb.
I'm not gonna name any names, chat, but there was a recent debate where one person who doesn't like wearing masks was making fun of somebody else for wearing masks, and then
We're gonna
that person
promote with
ended
Lamb,
up being
chat.
hospitalized for COVID in the next 2 days. So I'm
Celtics
just saying,
pride. Celtics
this is
pride
true.
promoting at the same time.
mask
This
up.
is true.
Let's get it.
However, I just want to say that was Lamb talking, but Lamont told me that he just got off playing GTA and felt like role playing. So he
Oh
put
my
flag.
lord.
That's all
That's
I
Whoa.
heard.
hilarious.
That's all I know, man.
Hey,
I mean, Lamb
Lamont.
made it up, but Lamont told me he was just playing GTA.
Lamont has not showed up in this cast yet. This is still just
We have
Lamb.
not seen Lamont
Lamont
yet,
has
chat.
yet to
We
make an
have yet to
appearance.
see Lamont this cast. We're back to the original Lamb. We're back to Lamb. The other biggest topic, though, that we're just about to talk about, guys, there's going to be no Melvin Gordon for the Broncos this weekend. Melvin Gordon ended up getting a DUI on Tuesday, chat. Didn't show up to
Busted.
practice on Wednesday. Showed up to practice on Thursday. And then gets strep throat on Friday. And he's obviously going to get suspended by the NFL here in this coming week. The NFL doesn't take lightly about that. We've seen that in the past. Regarding drugs, alcohol, anything regarding anything about that. It's a big miss for the Broncos. He's
Phillip Lindsay, though.
He's been showing out for the Broncos the last couple of weeks. He actually just had a 100-yard performance and a 2-touchdown week. Not last week, but the week before, I believe, if I remember right. Phillip Lindsay is a great back, though. He can run the ball. He can catch the ball. And we're also going to see, in my opinion, we're going to see a lot of Royce Freeman. When we saw Phillip Lindsay get hurt last year, we saw Royce Freeman do a fairly good job. So I believe we're going to see about a 50-50 mix in that game. But Phillip Lindsay is going to show out, in my opinion, and we're going to see a good game by Phillip Lindsay. But Melvin Gordon is probably looking at least a 3-game suspension, guys, and we're probably going to see that in this coming week. We haven't seen anything about it yet. I'm surprised that we haven't seen anything about it yet, in my opinion. Normally we see something about this almost immediately, guys. With them taking so long on this, what's your guys' take on that? Because normally they react almost instantly on that.
Me personally, and let's talk about the DUI. All right, so
He was doing 75 and a 35, chat.
But I mean, he's a millionaire, right? So he could be doing 70. And remember, if you get pulled over, even driving the speed limit, and you've had 1 or 2 beers, you're considered a DUI.
Yes.
Right. So it doesn't mean like this guy was, we don't really know. So I'm gonna try to take the more positive approach and say he wasn't, pissed drunk on a bottle of Everclear, turn off the lights, let go of the steering wheel, and just, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna assume he wasn't doing that. But and Geek, you brought up a good point right there. Like I think long gone are the days where athletes feel like they have to be role models. I don't think they have that stigma in their mind anymore. I think the shift, the culture shift in sports happened a while back to where now athletes are just saying, I'm just somebody who plays sports. Like, I'm not a hero. I'm not anything like that. So I don't think that they feel like they have any obligation,
right,
to try to set a good example. But going back to Melby's question, the league's rules and penalties and how they just randomly decide it's trash. Like, have something written in stone. There's no way there's no way that one person can do something and get 4 weeks suspension and another player can do it and only get a 2 week suspension. Like, it's not equal. Like, stop just going on based upon your mood and how you feel, like whatever. You know what I mean? It's just like off a whim. It needs to be something written and set in stone. If you do this, you automatically get this. Stop just choosing willy-nilly.
I
That's
agree.
one.
And Geek brings up a really good point too. He says he's disappointed they care more about the paycheck than being selfish. It detracts from the game to me. And instead, now how many NFL players do we see in the news during the season with legal issues? That's a very good point, Geek. Absolutely good point. And I want to get to your question here too, because Geek has a question for all three of us guys. He says, do you feel that as a professional athlete, you have an obligation not to only make sure you are in top physical condition, but you also are, but to a degree, have an obligation to set a good example for your younger, aspiring athletes? You bring up a very good point on that one, Geek, because we actually saw that instance with Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love this year. Right, Jordan Love, if I'm correct, right, guys? The quarterback they drafted. Is it Jordan Love? Or is that the running back I'm thinking of? Anyways, they drafted a quarterback, guys.
Yeah, I need you to look that up, man.
Yeah, they drafted a quarterback. And we saw it in the beginning of the year immediately. Aaron Rodgers was like, I want nothing to do with this dude. I'm pissed off at you guys. I can't believe you drafted a quarterback when we need offensive help. And we've needed offensive help for a while, and they haven't done anything for Aaron Rodgers besides Aaron Jones and Devontae Adams. Aaron Jones, like we said, was a godsend for him. But for a role model like what Aaron Rodgers is supposed to be, and to draft a quarterback anyways, you have to be a type of person to be able to show that dude and teach him the game and be able to give that same respect that you were given when you were in that same situation, because we saw that when he was under Brett Favre. He had to learn under Brett Favre. He had to wait his time. He had to do this, that, and the other. For people in those situations not to be role models like that, be in great condition, and for them to be such great players and to be role models at the same time, they have to be able to show the younger aspiring guys to do so, especially with nowadays on how people are growing up as well. We've seen newer generations, unfortunately, get worse and worse. We don't see the kindness and everything that we used to nowadays. We don't see the teaching that we used to in the older days on how everything was properly done and this, that, and the other. It's very unfortunate, and for them to be as high paid as they are, to be on television all the time, to take on all these younger guys just coming on 1 year off of college even, not knowing what to do in life yet, and getting such a big role and opportunity in their life, we have to see more of that, in my opinion. We haven't seen it in a long time, and we really don't see it a lot more in the NFL anymore, unfortunately, or any sport, as a matter of fact. I do want to hear about your guys' take on this, because that's a very big question, and it actually disappoints me, because Geek brings up a very good impact, and a very good point, because we really don't see that anymore, guys. We really don't.
Well,
so
we don't.
I wanna, if I can, just address it on two parts. One, in regards to us seeing the era change from being role models back to the Bill Russell days, the Michael Jordan days, where I want to be like Mike. There was also toward the end of that era, Charles Barkley. And Charles Barkley started running campaigns that said, I am not a role model. Since that time, that
he was
changed
right.
the dynamic. Yeah, that changed. That changed the dynamic, because once a pro athlete that made a lot of money could come out and say, I'm not a role model, that kind of changed the dynamic of how how these athletes saw things. Now, because they make so much money, because they have a bigger platform, you kind of expect them. It's kind of like what you expect from the presidency. Is like, yo, you're in a seat, so there's a level of respect that I have because of your position.
Right.
But at the same time, there's not enough training that goes into it. Like when they get these contracts, the PR people aren't doing their jobs and saying, all right, let us walk you through how to be a role model. Because a lot of these athletes come from broken homes. They got their opportunity, they got their shot. And so now they're in the limelight because of their talent. But that doesn't mean mentally that they're fit to be a leader, like what we've seen with Charles Barkley and the choices and the decisions that he made, Dennis Rodman and the choices and decisions that he made. Like, there has to be a psychological evaluation that says, okay, well, if we're going to pay you this amount of money, we need to know that you're mentally fit to also be in that space. Because you see, like from the Delonte West, where they get into that spot and
Yeah.
it's a complete meltdown for them.
Yep.
It's too much pressure. It's too much, but nobody really looks at the other side of things because once they start making money, like Lamb said, with the DUI, he makes a lot of money. So
Millionaire.
what are they gonna do? They're gonna toss it out. Like he may
Yep.
not even have to go to a court date. He just send his lawyer. So
Yep.
there's that thought process of being bigger than the law. And so once you get into that, nobody really can speak to that other than the people that hire you, the people that pay your salary. And so there has to be an accountability part on the leagues to say, okay, just kind of like what they did with Allen Iverson. If you guys recall, Allen Iverson had tattoos. He wore his clothes how he wanted. And next thing you know, the league said, we don't want that image.
Yep.
You got to wear a
Correct.
suit and tie.
Correct. Yep.
And they were wearing suit and ties. Like you can't like it. The thing is that like when we see it, because the era that most of us grew up in, we're like, wow, they don't do any of this. Well, they're not taught. They're given their paychecks. We gawk at the fact that they're talented, and then go, wow, you're really messed up.
Big time.
Yeah. It's and Hayes brings up a good point, and it's one of the reasons. And this is still Lamb. It's one of the reasons I hate Odell Beckham Jr. Okay, I can't stand him because he's automatically seen as a role model because of his Instagram following, because of his Twitter following,
but his commercials, this, that, and the other. Yeah,
nobody should look up to that man at all. He is a young millionaire. Since when do we look up to young people? And I'm sorry, Geek, I'm old school like you, but gone are the days where the culture is there's just been a big culture change, right?
And that's why I brought that up with the younger generation and this, that, and the other.
Everyone wants to be the Dennis Rodman now. It's cool to be the guy who fights with your own teammates and your own coaches and does whatever you want to do.
Yep.
That's become popular now. It's no longer popular to be Isaiah Thomas and smile in Pepsi commercials.
Exactly.
That's what people want. They want to feel like they're bad, like I'm cool, I'm the James Dean, I wear a leather jacket, I smoke a cigarette. It's no one wants to be Dak Prescott. Can I just say that? Nobody.
Right.
Nobody wants to be Dak Prescott. Everybody wants to be Odell Beckham. And that's just the way
you bring up a good point too, because when they talk about LeBron James, I was looking at one of the analysts. They had Michael Rappaport and Skip on, and one of the things they said was, "Oh, he looks 56." Or like he's like this old. No, LeBron James is 36 years of age.
Yep.
He is the prototypical athlete role model. Everything that everybody's asking, has one wife, no outside, nothing.
Yep.
Kids grew up. Even the kids being in the limelight wasn't too crazy. Of course, kids are going to be kids, but for the most part, they haven't gotten in any crazy trouble. So you've kind of seen over his tenure how he's kind of been in the forefront, spoke up for injustice and all this type of stuff. But yet they will look at LeBron James and they will say, oh, well, he's like 56. They'll call him old head. Like, you know what I mean? And this is the reason why the kids don't look up to a LeBron James. They would
Right.
rather look up to a Kyrie Irving
Mm.
because it's like, yo, they don't call him old. They call this person old. I don't want to follow that old man. Like like they put those stereotypes out there, and I don't think
Yep.
how
That's
that they
funny.
realize how damaging that can be.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially when you're trying to change the culture and trying to get people to be role models. You just don't have that anymore. Like Lam said, longer those days are gone, man.
Yeah.
Like it is
Long
hard
gone.
to get a younger the younger generation to listen to people that are older that have gone through some of the things that they may experience or go through. They will look at you and they will tell you, I know. What you're saying to me, I don't need to listen to because I know.
Correct.
That's literally like the way that they see it. I know. So
Thank
you can't
God.
tell me nothing.
Thank God in sports we still have people like Steph Curry. Okay.
True.
Right. Thank you.
Young player, kids do look up to him. John Cena in the WWE,
Yep.
positive, no felonies, no drug arrests like all the other WWE wrestlers, no steroids. You know what I mean? There's still good people who are role models. Dwayne The Rock Johnson, he hasn't been arrested and charged with drugs or beating his wife or something horrible. Like there's still,
Look at all the roles he does too.
yeah,
He used to do wrestling, movies, commercials, helping people out, foundations, fundraisers. Like the dude is everywhere and everywhere, is doing everything and everything for the community.
and I'm just saying LeBron James has the most haters, but there is not a bigger person out there giving to charities and doing things for the community than LeBron freaking James.
Yeah,
Holy
thanks. With his foundation and his school that he made and zero cost and the what he does off the court is absolutely amazing. I can give him that. Absolutely amazing. You can't ask for much more than what he's done off the court, obviously. Geek does have a couple more questions for us before we roll into the next topic as well. He says, do you think the club should take more active role to help ensure their players set a good example because it takes the club and the sport to itself, it makes the club and the sport itself look bad?
Nope. Teams want to win. Owners want to win. Managers want to win at any
Big
cost.
facts.
They will sign every
It's all
in the
about
game.
business.
They don't care
Unfortunately.
if you look at the Cleveland Browns. There's videotape of what Kareem Hunt did, and he is a starting running back in the National Football League right now. If that was anybody else, you realize your whole life would be ruined.
Yep.
When
Yes.
you become a felon, you will lose your normal job. You might be lucky to get a job at McDonald's if you're a regular average Joe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But because
This
you're
is true.
talented, you want to win because winning brings in more talent, right? More people will want to go to your team. It also brings in more money, jersey sales, season ticket holders, everything. They want to win. It's a business, unfortunately. And winning is the key to success in that business.
Unfortunately, they completely bypass that, and Lamb's 100% correct. It's 100% business. They want to win, and they'll do anything and anything to make their franchise and organization better to do so. And they won't look at anything else past that unless it involves legal issues.
Who's
This is true.
who's that wide receiver? Is it Josh
Gordon.
Josh Gordon?
He is still not being
Josh
reinstated this year, even though he'll sign with the Seattle Seahawks. And the league's probably not going to reinstate him because of all the times they have done reinstated him so far with all the issues he's had.
If Josh Gordon was a regular dude who lived in a one-bedroom apartment who worked at Walmart, he would be in jail for the next 3 to 5 years.
Big
This
facts.
is true.
If he got
This
caught
is
one
true.
time and then got on probation and continued to fail drug tests, he'd be locked up for 3 to 5 freaking years, bro.
Mhm.
Absolutely no.
But he can run really fast, so he gets a pass because he can run really fast.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But that's how it's been, man. When you go back, you look at if you even go back further, you look at gladiators and different things like that, man. Your talent causes them to kind of overlook certain things. regardless of the background history, because they want their team to win, because they want their franchise to be well known.
Yeah.
You think about everything that the Lakers organization stands for and what they put forth. What they look. They had people in the league such as Meta World Peace, um, that literally were having mental breakdowns in the course of a season that nobody was paying attention to. As long as you can make that basket, like that's
Yeah.
all that matters. Can you play ball?
Yep.
Literally, we watched Lamar Odom on the brink of death,
Yeah.
and they still were like, "Can you play ball?"
Yep.
That's what we want to know. Can you still perform at the highest level? And so when you look at it from the business aspect, you kind of understand why the tone change. Because before all of this happened, and before it was just about business, when it came to these leagues and these clubs, they were family. It was about a family. It was about building a family brand, family organization. They wanted you to look a certain type of way. They wanted you to talk a certain type of way because it was more about establishing the brand. The brand is established now, so now it's just about generating the revenue. That's it. That's
Yep.
that's the long short part of it. They'll deal with whatever as long as it's generating revenue.
And I
Yes,
think
big
the
facts.
sports agents also have a lot to do with it, because
Yes.
now it's
Agents
not even
have
about the
everything to do with it.
it's not even about
They
the
got to get
function
their
of your
cut,
team
man.
or your franchise. You got the agents, and the agents aren't wrong,
No,
but they're
they're not.
telling players like Odell Beckham, "You're your own brand.
Yep.
You got the most
When
views
when
on
you're
Instagram
that
and
big, you
Twitter
are your own
when
brand.
you did this. So keep acting that way because you're building your brand."
Right.
You know what I mean? Like Dennis Rodman, you get more jersey sales and people watch more when you're acting crazy out there. So
Big
continue.
facts.
They feed into that. They're like, we don't care how much drugs you do. We don't care about your all night long orgies. We don't like keep doing whatever's making you crazy
Exactly.
because it's selling. And we're not
Exactly.
thinking about the long term health that and stresses that it's putting on these athletes, which is why it's hard to see all these athletes that commit suicide a few years after being outside the league. It's heartbreaking. You know what I
Yep.
mean? It's very troublesome. But
Agreed.
every athlete's their own brand now. LeBron's his own brand. Steph is his own brand. Odell Beckham's his own brand. Dak Prescott has a brand. Cam Newton has a brand. It's no longer about the team anymore. And that's another reason why I am a Dallas Cowboys fan, which I've always been, is because Jerry Jones is about the brand Dallas Cowboys. He is not about, okay, CeeDee Lamb, you have your own brand. Ezekiel Elliott, you have your own brand. Jerry Jones, as much as I hate some of the decisions he makes, he told his team, he said, if you don't stand for the American flag, you will not be playing football with the Dallas Cowboys. Like there's certain, everyone has that line that they cross. Now, whether that's right, wrong, or indifferent, I just like that there's an owner who stood up and said the team is not going to be divided. There's other teams that said if one person kneels, we're just going to stay in the locker room. Like, be a team united, no matter what. That's what a team is.
Yes.
I play on a
There's no I
football
in team, guys.
and they're divided. The two defensive captains are divided, and it's horrible. And I'm like, if we all don't agree on something and take a stand on what we're gonna do, then we're gonna lose everything. A house divided against itself cannot stand. So I like when a whole team gets together and says, you know what? Like the Tennessee Titans did for Black Lives Matter when they tweeted it, we stand in
Yes.
solidarity. Like I was like, let's go. Ryan Tannehill was there. Derrick Henry was there. They were both almost in tears, bro.
Yep.
Like they stood together as a squad. And that's what I love so much. Stand together for something. Don't be
And
about your own individual brand. And the Tennessee Titans aren't that way. Ryan Tannehill's not trying to establish his own brand, sell
No.
a cologne and sell a specific type of cleat. And neither is
Right.
Derrick Henry or Woodard or Brown or any of those, or Corey Davis or any of those guys. Look at the teams that have had the most issues. There's always that one guy trying to build his own brand.
Yep.
Antonio Brown, Odell Beckham Jr. You know what I mean? There's always that person who's all about themselves and their brand and not the team. And that's when problems arise.
And we've seen it a lot in recent years too.
Yeah.
Rolling into next topic, guys. we got a little bit more football. We're finishing up the Dallas conversation. Good old Andy Dalton is a starter. Can he lead the Dallas Cowboys to Lamb's great quote unquote guys trash division?
Oh,
And then they
gee.
announced their backup quarterback today. Who in the hell is Ben DiNucci? Who is Ben DiNucci?
He is he is the greatest rookie arm that you
Um,
will ever see.
he's a journeyman plumber from Odessa, Texas.
Lamb
Apparently,
tried to look up his stats and he has no stats, chat.
no stats.
No
He has no
stats.
bio.
Listen,
I literally
listen.
think Jerry Jones went through a drive-through at Sonic. There was a 6'4" guy, and he was like,
No.
"Can you throw the football?" And the guy said, "Yes." He said, "I will give you $10,000." I think that's what happened, bro. I'm not sure,
Oh
but I think
my
Gosh.
lord. That's hilarious. The Replacements was such a good movie, Geek. I love
It
The
was.
Replacements. That's one of my favorite sports movies.
yeah. And what's crazy is even though I make fun of him by doing the drive-through story, Jose Altuve used to work at Whataburger.
True.
Okay, right here in San Antonio, Texas. He used to work at Whataburger. But so I'm just saying.
Oh man, that's
Hopefully, he's
hilarious.
like Jose
I mean, it
Altuve.
is a possibility,
That is
man.
hilarious.
Could have been out there just throwing burgers in cars, and he was like, "I love your arm." You
You know
play
what I'm saying?
football?
He
That's
saw
too
he
funny.
saw Danucci come out in his roller skates, right? Because he works at Sonic. He was skating up to the window, and he fumbled some drinks, and he recovered and caught him. And Jerry Jones was like, "I like that right there. I like the way you recovered." Maybe that's what
That is
happened.
too
Oh man.
funny. Oh man.
Andy Dalton is the Texas boy, right? He played for TCU Horned Frogs,
Yep.
right? So this is home. He wanted to be here, so he reached out to Jerry Jones. That's why he's on the team. Jerry Jones didn't say, out of all the quarterbacks, I'm going to choose Andy Dalton to be Dak Prescott's backup. Andy Dalton wanted to come home, but also
True.
Andy Dalton is no slouch. I would
He
still take him. I don't care what Teddy Bridgewater is doing right now. I would still take him over Teddy Bridgewater because Teddy Bridgewater's accident prone, right? I would still take him over Sam Darnold. I would take him over Haskins. I would take him over Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, there's so many quarterbacks that I would take Andy Dalton over as a backup in the league,
Yep.
honestly. And
I
I
agree.
think if teams like Washington and Carolina had Andy Dalton, they would be doing better. Not that the Panthers are doing bad. I mean, they're
No,
still
they're
doing
really
it.
not.
Yeah.
They're going to be a lot better improved when they get Christian McCaffrey back either this week or next week.
True that. And I would take Andy Dalton over Mitchell Trubisky as well. And a quarterback cannot do that bad with Ezekiel Elliott, Amari Cooper, and
No.
CeeDee Lamb. You can't
You have too many weapons on that offense.
You're right. You got to at least do average. Like that's all we need him to do is do average. Get us to 8-8. We're a solid 8-8 football team every year. Keep that going. We don't need you to win us
And
a
as
Super
bad
Bowl.
as that division is,
Well,
you could
I mean-
honestly win that division with a losing record almost.
We're
mean,
going to win that
and-
division with a winning record. I believe.
Yeah, I mean, Dalton isn't.
I believe the
He
defense is
isn't
going to
new,
turn it
he
around.
isn't new to dealing with stars. I mean, he had
Right.
Corey Dillon. You know, and when he was on the Bengals, he did make his run. He couldn't get them deep, over the hump, but he did play really good and really sustainable numbers while he was there with Cincinnati when they had the squad that they had. So
Correct.
I don't think that it'll be too much of a shock for him coming in, having those weapons. They probably won't push him to do too much, but I mean, he has that experience. He is a veteran. So at least you're not deferring to a rookie
He's a
and not really know
gunslinger.
what it is that you're gonna, what you're gonna get.
He's a gunslinger. They call him the they call him the red. Was it the red rocket or the red rifle?
Yeah, the Red Rifle.
They call him the red rifle for a reason, guys.
The Red Rocket.
They call him the red rifle for a reason. He's got a gun for a cannon, and he's got honestly 3 go route wide receivers he can throw the ball to. Michael
This is
Gallup,
true.
Amari Cooper, and now CeeDee Lamb. Like he's got a cast of receivers, so there's no reasoning that they should not win that division with Andy Dalton.
True. because the rest of the division is even worse than we are. They're terrible. I know the Cowboys are playing horrible, but oh my God, the Washington football team. Oh my God, the Giants, bro.
The Washington football
Are you
team.
kidding me? The Eagles, bro. The Eagles, bro.
That's a
The
good question,
Eagles.
Geek. And Lamb can answer that for you. Who's the leader on that field now for the Cowboys?
The Cowboys don't have a leader on that field on that offense.
Amari
Cooper. Amari Cooper is not an offensive leader, and neither is Zeke. No one's going to listen to those two. Nobody. Andy Dalton's going to have to come out and establish himself and be like, hey, Dak's in the back. We're going to come out here and we're going to win this for Dak. That's what he's got to say, and everybody will rally behind him.
And that's got to be the mentality for the rest of the season.
Yep. That's what I'm saying. That, as horrible as it is, that injury that my quarterback had, because, they can use that motivation to come back and win some football games.
Oh, man.
This is true.
That.
That's true. Very true. We have a little bit of NBA talk, guys. Go ahead, Hiatus.
No, I was gonna say, and a lot of teams will end up doing that. Like your star goes out, they put the number on the jerseys or something, to kind of like make it memorable for them. Like, this is what we're doing this for. So that injury can turn out to be a positive for the Cowboys and turning their season around, because it's like, we're finna go out here, play balls to the wall because our quarterback put everything on the line and he's out. So, I mean, it's very possible that we could see that galvanize the entire team.
I agree.
Hopefully. We're praying for you, Dak. We're praying for you, Dak. Seriously.
Yeah. Unless Derrick Henry give y'all a stiff arm, then the season's over.
Man. That was still disgusting. I can't believe that stiff arm. That stiff arm was nasty. Absolutely nasty.
It was.
Even though the NBA season's over, guys, we still have a little NBA news that is popping up. Tyronn Lue signed with the Clippers on a 5-year deal. We were not expecting that, especially on a 5-year deal. And I'm taking the mask off, chat. It's bugging me. It keeps falling down, and I don't like picking it up every time.
Why is your mask so baggy?
Normally, yeah, right. Normally that's the tight one, but the headset keeps making it push down because when I put it on, I need to swap my earphones. But oh well, that's all right. But on a 5-year deal, when they're not expecting to keep that team together, we're expecting Paul George to pretty much leave. Lou Williams is getting old. Lou Williams is getting old. We're expecting him to leave. Who was the other person you said hiatus that we're expecting to leave as well?
Patrick Beverley.
Yes, Patrick Beverley. Dude is all season long and doesn't back it up. He has a couple of good games, and other than that, he's nothing but this. And they don't need that. They're not going to deal with it. He's pretty much on his way out as well. But for Tyronn Lue to get a 5-year deal with the Clippers, when he hasn't been a head coach since he got really lucky with the LeBron James and the Cavaliers group, at his first year of coaching at that, it's not a good fit in my opinion. It's not going to work out. And I give it by midway through the year that they probably consider firing him. That 5-year deal is going to be a mistake.
Agreed. I agree. We're talking about Tyronn Lue. We're talking about the person that AI stepped over. We're talking about a guy that took over after, I can't remember his name, but the first time Cleveland went foreign and they got a coach, and he took over for him. And let's not to mention that he had to take a mental siesta because he couldn't deal with the pressure on a winning team.
Right.
Like, nothing about Tyronn Lue says that he was a winner. He's the only coach I know that when they won, he started crying
Yeah.
like a baby.
That's because he knew he was that lucky.
Bro, are you
Imagine, bro.
serious? What are
Like,
you
you were
crying for?
gifted a championship. Like,
What are you
Merry
crying
Christmas.
for? Listen. I don't care what stimulus package they gave to Cleveland. I don't care how they helped them to win. Them boys had to go out there, and at the end of the day, they had to play ball.
Yeah,
They
correct.
won from 3-1 down. No other team has done it. No other team will probably do it unless Denver gets back into their 3-1 comebacks. But no other team has done what they did.
We'll
right?
just leave that topic where it is. But...
I know. But listen, no other team has done it. And this is your moment. Your team wins. This is your moment to go out there and be like, that's right. I told y'all, we never die. And you're on the sidelines, bawling, crying. And I'm like, look, like, this is my coach. This is the person that I'm supposed to look up to. This is the one that's supposed, like, come on, bro. Like, I don't see. The thing is, Tyronn Lue was a part of that package deal with Doc Rivers.
Right.
He was a part of that package deal. And I can't remember the other coach's name, but he was a part of that group. You don't think Tyronn Lue had say-so in what they did and day-to-days? And he took his job serious. You could see him.
He does take his job
like,
serious.
he took it serious. And so it wasn't all on Doc Rivers, even though he took the brunt of the blame. Like, Tyronn Lue, I don't care that his moniker is that he told LeBron James to shut up. Like, that doesn't win championships. You won
correct.
one ring. That's the same as me saying that Gruden is an all-star, all-time famous coach because he won one ring with a team that was already set to win without him.
Exactly.
It's like what we learned about Luke Walton. We thought that Luke Walton was the greatest coach to ever grace the NBA court side because he had Golden State and they were undefeated and they were not losing. And then what happened? He went to another team. And have we heard from Luke since?
Nope.
Where is Luke? Because we get so enamored with the fact that the talent and the coaching were like put into it wasn't his coaching.
Whole different categories.
LeBron coached that team. That was not Tyronn Lue.
Exactly.
That was the reason he had to tell him to shut up because LeBron
was getting all that credit no matter what, and Tyronn Lue wasn't having it.
Bro.
That's true.
And so when you got a team like with Kawhi, who is a silent superstar, who's someone that's not going to listen to just anybody. He don't have that relationship with Tyronn Lue. You're not just going to say anything to Kawhi Leonard.
Now, see, that's why I think him and Kawhi Leonard are actually going to work really well together because they're both about business and they want to get shit done. Like, they want to win a championship. He knows he has one of the best players in the NBA currently playing right now.
If Kawhi Leonard knew how to build a team, he would have never asked for Paul George.
That too.
Okay.
That's big facts as well.
Biggest mistake they've ever made in the Clippers organization was picking up Paul George. He's garbage.
Agreed.
You're in the West. You're in the West, Paul. You're in the West, bro. Okay? You're not playing these little kids anymore in the East and making it to the damn Eastern Conference Finals every year, bro. I'm sorry. Everyone said that about LeBron his whole career. LeBron's in the West and just got a championship. Leave LeBron alone.
This is true.
Paul George. Welcome to the Wild Wild West, baby. The Wild Wild West.
Yo,
man up.
Listen, and that's
he's relearning why he left the West.
This is the thing. The West is only going to get stronger. You got a lot of teams that are coming back that are going to be at full right. That are going to be at full strength. And this is another reason why I say not so much the business aspect, but I think personalities will clash between Tyronn Lue because he's not mentally tough. And when the tough gets going, he gets the running. Because what are you going to do against a Golden State team that can shoot the ball from half court when your star decides he don't want to play no more?
When
Yep.
you can gotta get a guy that can score 40 points with only taking 11 dribbles the entire game.
Crazy.
Exactly.
Like
Crazy.
absolutely nuts.
So it's going to be hard for him. And I think just like with Doc Rivers, we'll be looking at this again come next season and saying, well, Tyronn Lue's out if he makes it through the season, which I
That's why I
highly,
brought that up. That's why I
yeah,
was
I
like, a
highly
5-year
doubt that he'll
contract's a
make it
big
through.
mistake. They're gonna question that about halfway through the season if that team really struggles. Especially not even knowing if that team's even gonna stick together.
Right, because right now the speculation of why Doc Rivers got let go is they're saying that he didn't hold superstars accountable like he held some of the others accountable. Is this a basketball team or is this daycare? Like, I'm not
Exactly.
understanding.
Like if
We
you're not
already
performing,
know
it's next man up. Like
exactly. What are
it
you
can
talking about?
no.
I don't care if LeBron, I don't care if AD makes me wait. They're a superstar. I'm glad to be on their team. I'm trying to learn from them so that I can get paid for my skills. I'm not sitting there complaining about the fact that they're not here yet and we got to wait on the plane. Is the plane going anywhere? Are we going to be late to the game? Like, what are we really talking about here? I'm just so like it's beyond me when I hear the excuses that the Clippers are given. It's like it literally sounds like a daycare. Like, do we got to coddle everybody's feelings and emotions to make them feel okay to play basketball? Like, what are you talking about? I
That's
don't
Yeah,
know,
so
man.
seriously.
funny.
Like, he got his
You're right.
hands full. That's what I will say.
He
Yeah.
really does. And it's the Clippers are going to be an interesting factor next year. It's who knows what's going to go on with that team here in the next couple of months. We don't think about that, guys. We literally have 2 months before the next NBA season starts. We got the draft coming up at the end of the month. You got free agency coming in December, and then the season starts in January.
We got
So
Beyond Light in a
there's
few weeks.
yeah, we got
Shameless plug.
oh man, that's funny.
Sponsor us, Bungie.
That is.
Right. Bungie, I know you're in the chat.
oh man, that is
Love
too
sports
funny.
too.
Van Gundy did meet with the Pelicans. No outcome of that yet. Pelicans need a head coach. Van Gundy hasn't coached in forever. Let alone can he even get to
Listen.
the style of the NBA, the way it's reached now.
Tell me what Jeff Van Gundy has achieved in the league. I'll wait.
His name has been mentioned in sentences with other great people.
I don't
I'm
even have
just
to
saying.
say anything. All I gotta hold up
I'm-
is a zero.
I'm just saying. It's the same thing if Jason Kidd went out and interviewed for the Pelicans. I'm not excited. He hasn't, as a coach, he has not done anything that makes me say, dang, that's a good pickup. It's not the same feeling that we would have with a Doc Rivers going to the Sixers and going, whoa, with that talent, he's back in the East where he's comfortable. That could be a problem. Like, we don't think that way with Jeff Van Gundy. It's like, okay,
I
that
just
just
don't see
means
him
that,
as I don't see him as an alpha male. Just same thing
right.
with Tyronn Lue. I don't see him as an alpha male. Doc Rivers embodies Greg Popovich embodies alpha male, alpha male. We're gonna listen to whatever coach says.
Exactly.
I don't
And
get that from Van
that's
Gundy.
one of the things with Phil Jackson, why he was able to get Michael Jordan to
And
buy
I brought
him.
that up in chat if you guys didn't see that either. Geek asked about that, about coaches and players respecting each other, and if they don't respect each other, then you don't see good outcomes about it. And
Yeah.
Michael Jordan loved Phil Jackson. He admired
Yep.
that dude. He always will. And you don't see a lot of that anymore regarding star players and coaches anymore.
True.
It's always the star player's either really pissed off or the team's doing bad and it's nothing but this and chatter back and forth and nothing good ever outcomes of it.
Well, the last of the dying breed is Spurs with Popovich. That's literally it.
Yep.
Once Popovich leaves, that's it. We don't
Timmy,
have
Timmy, I
like
believe, is set up to take over that role though. If Tim Duncan goes from assistant to overtaking Popovich, whenever Popovich does leave, that could be a very good fit for them. They
It
may
could be
not leave where they're
asterisk.
at right now.
They could asterisk because again, coaching and playing is two different things.
Yeah.
True,
So
very true,
you
and we've
know
seen that. Look how Jason Kidd coached the Bucks in the first couple of years, and look how that turned out.
exactly. It's the same thing that
How
I
is
say
Steve
about
Nash going to do with the Nets this year?
exactly.
Well,
It's the same
I don't
thing
know.
that I said about Steve Kerr with Golden State because the minute that injuries become a problem, you get to see their real coaching ability.
Yep.
Because then you don't have an answer. You don't know what body to put with this person. You don't know what schemes to draw up because you are coddled with the talent outshining. So you don't really have to do much. Imagine if Steve Kerr left from Golden State and went to someplace like, I don't know, Chicago. What do you think he would be doing in Chicago? Do you think that he would revamp? Do you think that he would revitalize that team? Or do you think that we would see his real coaching ability? Like you don't really have a that can that can come out and kind of give you that. So it's really gonna hang on and stem on the fact that you got a coach. I
Yep.
could take Popovich and put Popovich with the Cleveland Cavaliers. I guarantee you that with Popovich and them
No,
Cavaliers,
they make
they
in the
at least have a
playoffs.
positive record.
Yeah, and they
Yep.
make in the playoffs.
They gonna
I'm just
lose in the
saying.
playoffs, but
Oh
they
yeah,
gonna get
just
there.
because of how bad the East
Exactly.
is,
I'm
they're
just
at
saying,
least going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
like, bro, like that just shows you the difference in the levels of coaching. And I just think that when you look at a coach's ability to coach, you also have to look at the talent that they have. It's just like with Frank Vogel. Frank Vogel,
Right.
it wasn't his coaching that got them a championship, it was the talent he had.
Yes.
Without that talent, what do you think the Lakers would have done even with Vogel as head coach? Absolutely nothing.
No.
So and that was shown by what he had when he had Indiana. You don't think that that was a good squad he had
There
in the
was
East?
no reason in that Indiana team should have went further than what they should have. But
Thank you. But it came down to coaching. It came down to X and O's. It came down to making adjustments, and he
Yep.
could not do it.
no.
So, and we seen that even with Jimmy Butler going off. You got Jimmy Butler going off for 40 and 35, and nowhere in the course of that game did you change or adjust your game plan to stop him. You
Yep.
just let him do it,
Yep.
and you watched and said, "We got next game." That's it. You waited until his battery ran out. That's literally what you did. Like, come on. Like, let's call a spade a spade. It's easy to get happy at the end result, but when you look at the way that that game was coached, there was no reason that the Lakers should not have swept that team. They
Oh,
had every reason
there every
to
reason in to
sweep
sweep
that
them.
team. So it comes down to the coaching. Did you put them in the best possible situation for them to close the games out?
No.
And when you look at it, no.
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 You seen the look on LeBron James' face when he stopped making shots. Why would you call a play at the end of the game for LeBron James? That makes me question the coach. Are you trying to win or are you trying to sabotage yourself? I don't know.
Exactly.
It
And
like
when he's not
it's
making
not
shots and he's already got the demeanor and was like, well, I ain't hitting shit. Draw it up for AD. Have
Thank
LeBron
you.
be a set a pick. Have Rondo inbound the ball. Have Rondo facilitate it. There ain't no reason. You got two of the top 5 best players in the league, and you're not
True.
telling me that
On
you
this-
can't get AD open for a game-winning shot.
Exactly.
And if not, he's gonna draw the foul. They're gonna
Thank
foul
you.
him.
Thank you.
Even if he doesn't make it, he's gonna get fouled.
Thank you.
Like he's going to the line, and AD's going to hit those free throws.
Yes.
Okay.
He is.
He's not LeBron where he's gonna make one of two or maybe miss both. We've
Both,
seen
exactly.
LeBron be terrible at the free throw line in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
But that's what I'm
he's gonna
saying.
make-
Like, I look at it more than just what they won. I look at game times decisions. I look at and analyze the thought process behind each call. Like I was saying, you waiting to game 6 to put Caruso in, who is your battery, the
Yeah.
person
And we've seen
that
that the last two
excites your entire
years.
team. What is wrong with you? Why are you waiting to game 6 to make that type of change? You could have won game 5 if you would have put him in.
Yep.
Like, you would have gotten that energy off and been able to change the tide of the game. And that's what I loved about Phil Jackson. As great as Michael Jordan was, as great as Scottie Pippen was, he was the type that when he seen Ron Harper getting done in, he would take Ron Harper out, put Tony Kukoc in, and switch up the entire lineup
Yes.
just so that they would be in the best position for them to win. That's great coaching.
Facts. Big facts. If I was the coach, I would have put J.R. Smith in on Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, he's
Why
a
did
great
J.R.
defensive
Smith?
player. Just don't give him the ball on offense.
Exactly. Exactly. Why
Exactly.
not put him on Jimmy Butler? Jimmy Butler does not have those triple doubles and crazy numbers if J.R. Smith is
No.
guarding him, bro. J.R. Smith's got energy.
Even
Okay?
Caruso has the mentality and the toughness to even guard a Jimmy Butler if he wanted to. Caruso's not going to let anybody just pick him around.
Exactly. But then we watch over and over again as Jimmy Butler goes to the
Embarrasses
middle
the
and
whole team.
layups over
Yep.
Morris. Over and over and over again to the point to where I'm tired of seeing that play.
Yeah.
On
And I'm
two
like,
All-Stars.
Yeah.
On
Bro,
two
The same
All-Stars.
play.
On
like,
two
bro,
All-Stars,
what is
bro.
this?
Ridiculous.
No,
From the
it
East.
is. It is.
From the East.
Exactly.
High like a
Not
child.
even the best team from the East. It wasn't
No.
Milwaukee. It wasn't Boston. It wasn't Philly. This
Mm-mm.
came from Miami.
Exactly.
Over two All-Stars.
And you're not gonna tell me. Here's why I was upset with the way that the finals played out, because you're not going to tell me that Denver was not better than Miami, and you gentlemen sweep Denver. There's no reason that you shouldn't have swept Miami. There's absolutely none.
True.
Denver would have swept Miami if
Oh.
they played them
By
head
far.
up.
They're so much bigger than Miami is, let alone the what's the word I'm looking for? The experience they have in the playoffs. They've been in the same position every single year for the last 3 years. Denver wants to win that and go further. There absolutely no reasoning if Denver was up against them. It was absolutely sweep. I 100% agree. They got too much skill. They're much bigger than Miami is, and they have much more experience than they have as well.
All right. So then let me ask you, let's keep going down the line. Is Houston better than Miami?
No,
I think
Miami
they
is
are.
a good defensive perimeter team, and Houston ends up struggling shooting the three, and they don't have a big man.
But
to
if
get the rebound.
if Houston gets hot, are they not a better
think they're
shooting
better.
team than
If
Miami?
Houston
I think
is
they are.
hot and can stay that way, obviously no one's going to stop James Harden. James Harden's going to do his thing. But if you can hold everyone else to their own, then ultimately I still think Houston loses.
I'll take James Harden and Russell Westbrook over Jimmy Butler and Duncan Robinson every single
Russell
time.
was too
Every single day.
inconsistent this year. I didn't like
Every
Russell
single
this
time.
year. Russell was
James
a
Harden-
huge disappointment.
James Harden
All right.
is so
Good.
unbelievably
Let's go
good.
back. Let's go back one more. Portland and Miami.
I'll take Portland.
That
I'm
one's
sorry.
tough.
I'll take Portland.
That
I
one's
just
tough.
would.
Obviously, Portland lost Damian Lillard. If Damian Lillard's healthy, there ain't nobody stopping Damian Lillard on that Miami team. Not even Jimmy Butler.
And this is what I'm talking about. 5-4-1, 4-1, 4-1.
Yes, I agree.
I'm
I
just
agree.
saying, like that doesn't add up.
It
It
does.
just
There
doesn't
ain't
add
no
up.
reasoning that series should have gone as far as it should have.
It
Yeah,
does not add
we've
up.
seen
There's
what C.J. McCollum and Damian Lillard can do. Just
Those
the
dudes
two,
could put up 70 on any
exactly.
given
just
night,
the
and
just
Lillard will put
them
up
two.
50 of it.
Yeah, seriously. So yeah,
So
Miami. That's
they
what I'm saying. One person, bro, just really like over two All Stars. Like, I don't get it.
yeah, it like I said, that's the part that kind of when I look back at who they played and the talent on those teams, I'm like, come on, bro. Like, this makes no sense. This is what I would have expected from Damian Lillard and Portland to get 2 or 3 games. This is what I would have expected from Houston to get hot and maybe steal 2 games.
Right.
This is what I expected from Denver to fight and rally back and maybe win 2 or 3 games. Not from Miami.
No.
And none of those teams previous to them could get more than 1 game, but
Yeah.
Miami got 2.
Miami had
Crazy.
no reasoning on winning either one of those games. Neither one. You're
Hiatus, I think JJ's
telling me
waiting on
that
you.
you got LeBron, AD, JaVale McGee, Dwight Howard, all on defense, and you can't stop Jimmy Butler getting in the paint and getting points and going to the free throw line. Put your hands
It
up.
doesn't make
That's
sense.
it. All you got to do. And you got Dwight Howard, who is
And the Lakers D ain't no
stats-wise
joke.
been one
either.
of the best blockers in NBA history.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Lakers D ain't no joke in the West.
And mind you, this is 40 and 35 points without a 3-pointer.
Yeah, literally all middies, free throw shots, and
let
going
that
to the hole.
sink in. This is 40 and 35 points without a 3-pointer.
None.
Hey, what was he? 12 for 12 from the free throw
shot
line,
the
though.
three, but it just didn't go in.
Or 14 for 14 from the free throw line. Like when you put someone on the line and they shoot 100% from the free throws, what? Who shoots 100 in the playoff in the finals? Who's shooting 100%?
Exactly.
Get
Yes,
out of
Geek,
here.
we are gonna get to that. Actually, we do have some college
my
mixed in today.
gosh.
Hey, hiatus. I think Livin is
Yeah.
calling you, bro.
I didn't know if you
Is
heard me
he?
or not. I told you to
Okay.
check chat.
Okay.
He said
Next
you
topic,
growing.
actually, you guys. Yeah, right. AD's pretty much confirmed that he's gonna come back to LA. That's
All right, you needed
pretty
me.
much expected. We are actually college is our next topic, Geek. A weird day in college, actually. I asked these guys if they followed college a little bit earlier. They do a little bit.
Not since COVID.
Right. I've been keeping up on it. A huge day in college football today, guys. Clemson ended up setting a ACC record today for beating an opponent by the most advantage in history, which is very surprising because the ACC has been very good. So for them to go out and do that, they're the number 1 seed. Absolutely demolished that game. Lawrence went off for 5 touchdowns that game. They literally came out and stomped away. I want to say that score was like 73-7, I believe was the final score.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
straight
What?
dismantled that team.
Oh my
Yikes.
Dismantled
gosh.
them, Chad.
Yikes.
73-7.
Oh,
73-7.
Sheesh.
that's an Iron Banner score.
That is.
Okay? I'm calling it.
I call mercy.
It is mercy. I'm calling it. It's over.
Man, that's
And
rough.
Clemson's going to be hard to beat this year. They look good. They look really good. And Perrine at running back is no joke. I watched a video on him and his montage that they had about a week ago, Geek. I don't know if you saw that or not. But for them to talk about him like that and up him like that, it's going to be huge for them if they can get Perrine going on top of Lawrence at the same time. Lawrence, yeah, exactly. 5 touchdowns, almost 400 yards, chat.
Trevor Lawrence, I thought that said STD geek. I was like, what? STD is 391. So let me put my glasses on and I'll keep them on. That is a 5, not an S. Okay, got it. Sorry about that. So,
Oh my lord.
Trevor Lawrence, the number 1
hush.
draft pick.
Hush him.
Geek, who drafts him? Who drafts Trevor Lawrence? Because
Is it gonna
just
be the
because he's the
Jets?
number 1 pick, it doesn't mean that. See, that's the thing. Do the
And
And he
Jets need
doesn't
a
want to go
quarterback?
to the Jets.
The
They
thing
I
they
don't think
said
the Jets need a
if the
quarterback.
Jets ended up being the number one pick, they said Lawrence should stay another year in Clemson and avoid being picked by the Jets guys.
Yeah, college
Because
was next.
the Jets are looking to get rid of Sam Darnold. So they're
Hey, the
obviously
49ers
looking to
do
get the
need a
number one
quarterback.
pick.
I'm sorry, Geek. They do.
They
I
do
think
need
you're right.
another quarterback. They really do, Geek. But they're unfortunately they're not going to get the number one seed. So that's been a big factor. We've heard about that already. Is Lawrence going to sit another year and not hit the NFL draft just because the Jets are going to get the number one pick most likely? It's not looking good as far as that goes. In my opinion, I agree with them 100%. Lawrence should stay at Clemson and not go to the Jets whatsoever because that's going to be terrible. They don't have any pieces there for him whatsoever.
Washington or the Giants could also get the number one pick, though.
Washington's going to end up getting a couple more wins this year, regardless of how bad they are. They'll somehow end up pulling it out, just like they did against that Eagles game. But the Jets are going to get the number one pick this year. They're terrible. They traded away everybody. Their defense is dismantled. They're disgruntled. They're about to get rid of their quarterback. Like, there's no doubt about it. The Jets are tanking. They're going to get the number one pick.
They need to fire the head coach,
They
the
do.
general manager.
Adam
they need
Gase.
a whole
No, Adam
new...
Gase is not there. Who's the head coach now?
No, it is Adam Gase.
It is Adam Gase. Yes, Adam
Yeah, it is
Gase
Adam
needs to
Gase.
go. I was about to say Brian Flores for some reason, but Brian Flores is down in Florida. Brian Flores is good.
You know what the Jets really should do in college football? Because they need to, if they get the number one pick, they need to trade the number one pick and get a couple of first rounders and second rounders and maybe even third rounders. That's what they need to do. Because they don't need a quarterback. I think Sam Darnold is just fine. Sam Darnold is just
Darnold's
fine.
not a bad quarterback. They literally just have no pieces. They've gotten rid of everybody. Robbie
Sam
Anderson's
Darnold-
gone. Chris Herndon can't stay
Give me a
healthy.
minute.
Their
Give me a minute.
defense
Give me a
is
minute. Give me a
terrible.
minute.
They have no running back. Like, they're
Ghost.
terrible. Yeah, what's up,
Yeah.
Ghost?
I will
Yeah,
be
they
right
need-
back, guys.
No worry.
Yeah,
no
for sure.
worry.
So they definitely need to trade that first pick for a couple of first rounders, couple of second rounders, and third rounders because they could stack up on running backs. They
Absolutely.
can get in.
They
need an offensive
they
lineman.
need to do what the Raiders did. Trade away their best player, trade away their best players, get whatever picks they can get, and just build for the next couple of years.
Dude, the Raiders,
look how the Raiders
still have
defense,
first round picks.
Look, exactly. Y'all owe me big time, Melby, and just what'd you do, JJ? What'd you do? What did you just convince Hiatus to do? What are we gonna come back to, chat? JJ says we all owe him big time. But I 100% agree that the Jets need to dismantle that team, get picks, work up that team again. Obviously, what they got going on is not the key, and they need to get rid of their head coach 100%.
Yeah, the Raiders still have first round picks and second round picks going from that
The
trade.
Raiders are looking
they're still gonna
dangerous
be
the next
stacking.
couple of years, guys.
Yeah,
Their defense is stacked right now. They built up the defense the last couple of years in the draft. They got Josh Jacobs, their future running back.
They beat
They
the
got
Super
Henry
Bowl
Ruggs,
champions.
and I called that. Thank you.
They beat the Chiefs, yo, and they still have first round draft picks stacked.
Yes.
They beat the Chiefs.
They got their future running back. They drafted their future wide receiver in Henry Ruggs as long as he could stay healthy. Their defense is stacked. They
have one of the best tight ends.
Just need to draft a quarterback behind Derek Carr. Let Derek Carr build him for 2 years. 2 years. Two. That's it. And they'll be a very good football team. We have to work out a payment for Hiatus. Oh, what happened? That's got me very interested. Geek says, honestly, I'd love to see a few NFL teams just flush the bulk of their team and bring in replacements and focus on rebuilding. I 100% agree, Geek, completely. There's quite a few teams that have looked to draft in pieces, drafted the wrong pieces, and traded for pieces, and it hasn't worked out for them, and it's been seen so. And they absolutely need to rebuild. 100% agree on that. Back to college, guys. We have a lot of upsets today. The number 15 team, Tennessee, lost to Kentucky. It was a decent game until not one, but 2 pick sixes got returned on back-to-back possessions before halftime, and then shut Tennessee out the second half and didn't let them score. I want to say that ending score was 34-7, guys, in Tennessee. On top of that, huge upset. Tennessee was looking good this year, and for Kentucky to go in like that and upset them like that was not expected at all. Was not. And the other big upset, the
Sorry
real.
about that.
Oh, you good, man? You good? You get everything situated?
Yeah.
We got
Everything come out all right. You know
nah,
Febreze
Nah,
in the air, man. That's what I be
listen,
doing.
nah, the boss came in,
Oh, got you.
and I
oh,
had to
Got you.
make sure everything was good.
Yeah, I got you.
the
No
other
respect. That's even more important.
Right.
Yeah.
the other two big upsets that we had today, guys. South Carolina beat the oh, sorry.
All right, I'm
Tennessee's
back.
the number 18 team. The number 15 team was Auburn. They also got upset today. And then the number 5 team, North Carolina, almost built a comeback, but lost against Florida State.
Yeah.
Huge
By a field
loss
goal.
for North Carolina, because obviously
By
they're not
3
going to make the
points.
playoffs anymore. That's going to completely knock them out. They won't get near it the rest of the year. So that's a huge loss for UNC because they were looking really good. Alabama, Georgia just finished up, guys. That game at halftime was looking extremely good, and then Alabama just came out the second half, and it was just over. It's a bad second half for Georgia. They really didn't do anything, guys. Honestly, really didn't do much. It was kind of unfortunate because I was expecting a lot better game than that.
So basically, we're going to see another year of Alabama versus Clemson because Auburn will eventually lose.
I really hope not. And Saban got really lucky because if they
Pick it
wouldn't
up
have
too.
had Saban this week, because he tested positive early this week, and then he had 3 negative tests right before the game, yesterday and today. So he was fairly fortunate to even coach that game. So just imagine the outcome if you don't have one of the, I guess you can say, so-called best college head coaches to ever coach, to be missed in that game and not have that ability and play calling for you guys. It would have been a whole different outcome in that game if that would have been the case. You weren't surprised by Notre Dame? Go right ahead, Ghost. Say anything you want, man. Ask us anything. What's going on, Mark? How's it going, man? How's everyone's night going, chat? We are over here just jamming and chilling over here in the cast. Loving all the questions tonight, guys. We're over here jamming out. So much to talk about, even though there's only been 4 days since we've last had a podcast. Like, it's nonstop in the sports world. Everything's always going to happen. Everything's going to be a revolving world, no matter what's going on. It's a business. Business never stops moving, so there's always stuff to talk about. Go says, let's say how quick the Browns have shown they can be a team to reckon with. What do you guys say about that,
Erroneous. Erroneous on all counts. They've only beat bad football teams with losing records. Their first test is going to be this week against who? My number 1 power ranking pick, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Then we'll see. If they beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, Ghost, I will agree with you 100%.
And that's one thing that we're going to do at the end of this too, guys. We are going to do a power ranking for our NFL since it is a new week as well. We have no game on Thursday, so we're going to do a fresh power ranking here at the end of everything and what we talk about as well. Going into our next topics, guys, that Georgia game, again, was supposed to be a really good game. That was the first game since Georgia blew their lead against Alabama in 2018 against that championship game to go to the national championship game. So I was really expecting a lot better game from Georgia, and I was hoping that they were going to put up a fight against Alabama. But unfortunately, Alabama, their recruiting has always been really good. And they've always been a team that's always going to be in the question of winning a national championship, unfortunately. As much as I don't like Alabama,
They recruit well, better than any
They've
other team in college
always
football.
been a top recruiting team. Next topic, guys, we're moving into is
And
actually
Cam Newton should be playing this week.
he is.
I believe.
Cam Newton
Mark.
is back. Stephon
Yep.
Gilmore is back. Even though the Patriots had a positive test, that player was not named yesterday. They shut down the facility for the Patriots. I was immediately said, "Oh, damn, we're not going to play again this week. That game's going to be scratched. We're going to end up messing up our schedule again." That would have been the third time that game's been moved in the last week and a half.
Yeah, that would have felt horrible.
For them to be able to play that game this week and not have any more positive tests is really awesome. We get our number one quarterback back. We get our number one defensive player back and defensive player of the year in Stephon Gilmore. So hopefully we can get back on track and get back into our ways. We're on our last topic of the cast, guys. We've rolled through everything. Let's get our power rankings for the NFL this week. Lamb, you've already said you got Pittsburgh at number 1, so go ahead and finish off your power ranking, man.
Bring them up real quick. Let me bring them up real quick, baby. Yes,
Alabama
the number
may
one.
Recruit well, but they may. Yeah, that's true, Ghost.
The Pittsburgh Steelers, baby.
Yep.
Number one, numero uno, well-coached Mike Tomlin, Hall of Fame Super Bowl winning quarterback, Big Ben Roethlisberger. James Conner is underrated still as a running back. Snell, his backup, is also very good.
Yep.
Ben Roethlisberger spreads the ball around just like Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady do. He can have some no-namer catch 3 touchdowns in a week, and you'll never see it coming.
4.
Juju Smith-Schuster's back. Oh, yeah, that's right. It was 4.
Juju was back last week. He had 5 receptions, even coming back, but Claypool went off.
Bro, all the way off. And that just proves how versatile and how dangerous this Pittsburgh Steelers offense is. One player gets 4 touchdowns. Ezekiel Elliott doesn't get 4 touchdowns. Derrick Henry doesn't get 4 touchdowns, bro. Nobody gets 4 touchdowns. So imagine.
They both choke.
Bro.
Ghost has agreed to disagree.
For my number 2 power ranking, I am going to go with the Tennessee Titans.
Ooh, coming out of nowhere is with the Tennessee Titans.
Tennessee Titans.
Wow.
Coming out of nowhere with the Titans, chat.
Titans, they're good and their division is weak.
Their division is weak.
So what that means is they're going to keep winning games. Jaguars 1-4, Texans 1-4, the Colts 3-2. They're starting to lose because where's T.Y. Hilton at? Where's the offensive weapons at on this team? Philip Rivers.
T.Y. been struggling the last.
Philip Rivers can't even throw for 200 yards.
Nope.
You can have the best. You can have the best O-line and D-line, but Philip Rivers is not throwing touchdown passes, and he's not throwing for over 220 yards a game at all. So it doesn't matter that you have all day to throw the football. If your wide receivers cannot get open, that's a problem, and his wide receivers cannot get open right now. The wide receiver coach needs to be fired. You cannot waste an O-line and a defensive line like the Colts have. You can't waste it, and they're wasting it. All right. Number 3, we are going to the NFC, and that is going to be the Rams.
Ooh,
and I will tell
Rams. Okay.
I will tell you why I'm sticking with the Rams is because as good as Green Bay is, the potential that the Rams have with an overall better defense who is going to start to show out.
That's true.
And their coach has more experience. Aaron Rodgers might be on a winning streak, but Aaron Rodgers isn't showing us anything this season that he doesn't show us every season, right?
Okay, I'll make it happen again.
Aaron Rodgers shows us this every single season, that he's an elite quarterback, that he's, in the words of the former hitman Bret Hart, the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. Yeah, that's Aaron Rodgers. So Aaron Rodgers, remember, last year Aaron Rodgers did this without Devontae Adams. He did it without Aaron Jones. He was making Marquez Valdez and all these other wide receivers look like legends. Lazard. But the coaching of the Rams, they've been there before. And I give the edge to experience. They've made it all the way there before with their squad.
For as young as he is, That dude is smart.
Yes, he is. And the reason why they lost that football game was because of Jared Goff. It wasn't because of anything else. Their defense held against Tom Brady.
And
Their defense held.
And Goff has been notable for that.
Yep.
Unfortunately,
Goff
he
lost
hasn't
that
been
game.
able to get away from those issues. And if he was, they'd be a hell of a lot better of a football team than the way that they are right now.
Yep. Pittsburgh, Titans, and Rams. I did not go with so that's my teams.
Fair enough. That's the Tennessee Titans coming out of nowhere has really surprised me.
Not coming out of nowhere. Did they not almost make it to the Super Bowl last year?
They did. I'll give you that. But
yep.
You'd even have them in your tied for fourth last week, so that really interests me. For them to jump all the way to the number 2 spot,
I've been impressed. I've been impressed by their defense. So now I have the Kansas City Chiefs at number 4. I do.
Really?
With the Green Bay Packers.
Even with the signing of Le'Veon Bell, you're still going to keep the Chiefs at number 4.
But what are they going to do for the defense? We figured out how to beat Kansas City, right?
Back that are injured.
But we figured out how to beat the Chiefs. Stop blitzing Patrick Mahomes. Everybody drops back into coverage.
Yep. But Mahomes
everybody dropped into coverage
on runs, so they do have to be careful for that at the
New
same
England
time.
New England figured it out, and they shut them down in the first half of football. The Raiders saw that, and they're like, you know what we're going to do? The exact same thing the Patriots did.
And they brought that up during the game, too, actually.
Yep. We know how to beat the Chiefs now.
Yep.
So they dropped 2 rankings.
And as long as you can stay behind T.Y. Hill, Tyreek Hill?
Tyreek Hill?
Basically T.Y. Hill, if you want to say. As long as you can stay in front of that dude and not let him get by you, honestly, all you have to do is tackle. Kelsey's going to get his hands on the ball, obviously. But as long as you can tackle, you're set.
Yeah. I believe that the Tennessee Titans can beat the Kansas City Chiefs. And I believe that the Pittsburgh Steelers can beat the Chiefs. Those 2 teams are my 1 and 2 is because I believe those are teams in the AFC that if they go against the Chiefs in the championship game, they will knock the Chiefs out. That's why they're my first 2 because they're the 2. I stated
that with Pittsburgh earlier. I do
they
agree
can knock
with
them out.
you on that.
The Raiders can knock them out too, but the Raiders won't be up there. Their record will be too small.
Unfortunately,
This is true.
Unfortunately.
This is true.
All right, Hi, what's your 3, man? What do you got? Who you got?
All right. So my 3, starting at number 3, is going to go with the Chiefs. I do think that defense is an issue, but I think they'll figure it out, and they'll get a lot better.
False.
I do believe they'll figure it out. I'm of that belief, and we'll go down fighting on that one. At number 2 for this week, I have Green Bay.
I agree with that. I can agree with that. I'm surprised you didn't have Green Bay in yours, Land, because you've been hype on Green Bay.
But Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers, they do this every year. They do the same thing every year. And name an NFL team with a brand new head coach that goes and wins the Super Bowl.
It's been a while.
That's the only reason they're not in my top 3. It's because the odds are greatly stacked against them. The odds are greatly stacked against them. I believe it was the Rams head coach that actually went last time, and then he lost, right?
Yeah, but I want to say win a Super Bowl, though. I'm looking that one up. I'm interested in that. I'm
brand new head coach. Brand spanking new. We know in the NBA it was Doc Rivers, right?
Yeah.
With Boston Celtics. But in the NFL, what NFL team gets a brand new year 1 NFL coach and goes and wins the Super Bowl? Doesn't happen.
You got a valid point.
Dang.
Has it ever happened?
I don't know if it has. I want to say that's why it's not popping up.
Yeah, because I feel like we would have heard about that. Like, they would have been like, oh my God, the first time in NFL history.
Because I literally put last coach to win a Super Bowl in first season, and nothing came up.
Yeah.
There you
So
go.
there's no reason for me to believe that Aaron Rodgers is going to be the guy to pull that off. I'm sorry.
Okay.
All right. And then my number one for this week, I think I had them at number one or number two last week is Pittsburgh.
Let's go,
Yeah,
baby.
Like I
Pittsburgh at number
said,
2 last week.
yeah, I think that they have just really shown their maturity and their growth, and I can't deny them.
No locker room drama. Antonio
Yeah,
Brown's
they really don't have any locker room
Tanner.
drama, guys.
They're a team,
Oh,
bro.
God.
They're a team. They love Juju Smith-Schuster. Shoot.
All right. My top 3 is going to be completely
Son,
different from y'all's. Completely different.
Dallas Cowboys.
No, Dallas is not in there.
Football team.
Are we talking about the number 1 pick?
Oh, the shade.
All right.
True.
So, my number 1 team this week, even though they're coming off of a bye week, that means they're going to get a healthy Devontae Adams back. They got a healthy Aaron Jones, and Aaron Rodgers gets his best and most valued receiver back. That defense, like we said, is underrated. And I'm going in vice versa for them, guys. So I'm going from 1 to 3. Green Bay is my number 1 team. Green Bay is my number 1 this week. Hands down. Especially since they're coming off the bye week and getting a healthy Devontae Adams. My number 2 team will be the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I mean, I'll
just
take
behind Green Bay.
responsibilities.
Pittsburgh's outstanding on both sides of the ball. And as Ghost stated in chat earlier, they're very injury prone. But as long as they can stay healthy, they're a dangerous football team. And we saw that this past week. They didn't even need their number 1 receiver or their running back to show up during that game. They had a rookie come into the game with almost 200 yards and 4 touchdowns. When you have that ability and you have that many weapons on your offense and a dude to come out of nowhere is like that and have 4 touchdowns as a rookie,
Bro.
that's dangerous.
Mike
And
Tomlin.
especially with a healthy Ben Roethlisberger back after getting that surgery last year. He's slinging the ball again. He's looking good. I'm not a Pittsburgh fan. I can't stand Pittsburgh. But I am a Ben Roethlisberger fan, even through all the BS that he's been through in his career with the motorcycle incident and this, that, and the other that we won't get into. But he's a good quarterback. He really is. And then my number 3 this week, chat, is going to be Kansas City. With them signing Le'Veon Bell, they're heavily favored to win the Super Bowl this year now. They got so many weapons on that offense. Their biggest question is, can their defense withstand until they get their defensive pieces back that are injured? And after that, can they stay healthy? If they can stay healthy and get their defensive back, and then have the defense that they had in the playoffs last year, even though they lost a couple of pieces, that team can be very dangerous. Their offense is already shown. Hey, Kissy says, wait, you don't like Pittsburgh? No Pittsburgh here, Kissy. I
got a question, even for you, Ghost, and for Hiatus and for Melby.
Yep.
Where are you putting the Rams? Because I'm seeing total LA Rams disrespect, and
I'm
that
not
is
giving the Rams any disrespect at all.
Hey.
I will.
You can't
the only
say
thing I don't like about the Rams is we talked about it just now with Jared Goff. He can throw the game for you at any point. And then their defense is fine. Their defense, like you said, is going to come through, and they get better every year as they do. The only thing I don't like besides Jared Goff is their running backs are too inconsistent and they're injury prone this year, and that's going to come to hurt them. And if you can't have a reliable running back to be able to open up everything else for you, that's going to hurt Jared Goff even more. I do have them I have them at number 5. Tennessee's my number 4.
Let me counter that. Who was the Chiefs starting running back last year when they won the Super Bowl?
Damian Williams. And Damian Williams showed out.
Is he a primary beast, GOAT, legend running back?
No, because we haven't been able to see that yet, and unfortunately he opted out this year.
And
But
what
if
did
he was given that opportunity,
the Chiefs? They
he's
just
a
mimicked
great receiving back. The dude's amazing. He's got the ability, he's agile, and he's quick. And
the Chiefs. Your team, Melby, they mimic the Patriots. They
Yes.
run multiple running backs,
I know.
and
But
that's
they,
what
they looked at mainly Damian Williams last year when he was healthy. When Damian Williams was in, they said no Shady, even though Andy Reid loved Shady. He had him in Philly. So when Damian Williams was healthy, it was the Damian Williams show.
But what? No,
Powder.
no.
Yes.
That was Patrick Mahomes. That was Patrick Mahomes.
As running back wise, as far as running back wise, it was the Damian Williams show.
I don't think he did that good. I mean, he did above average. I think he did above what was expected of him, but I don't think you need. Well, it's been proven you don't need an Ezekiel Elliott or Derrick Henry or Nick Chubb to win a Super Bowl.
You
No,
don't.
but you still need that consistent, reliable running back that's going to be able to spread that out for you. You don't need the top 5 running back in the league to be able to do that, but you're at least going to have somebody
But
that's
you-
going to be
you
able
won't
to
turn it
spread
down
that
if you
for
get it.
him. Kind of like you were just saying, the Patriots and utilizing their running backs. Someone like a James White or a Rex Burkhead who can both be able to run the ball and catch the ball.
That's what I think. That's what
And
the Rams have.
that's what Damian Williams was for them last year as well, and that's why I said it was the Damian Williams show, because he had both aspects.
Where do you put the Tennessee Titans at then?
Like I said, I have him number 4, and I have the Rams 5.
You have the Titans number 4.
I had the Titans as number 4.
Hiatus.
I have the Titans 5. I have I don't right now. I'm still waiting to see what the Rams actually do, because going back to your comment that you mentioned about the Packers, we see this every year. So far, we've seen this every year with the Rams, where they look like they're going to do great.
Yep.
They may even make it to the Super Bowl, and then they fold.
Yep.
So I got to wait to see consistency. And it's the only reason why I don't put them higher,
In the
because
last
some of the
2
teams
years,
that we mentioned,
they've been
these are
more
teams.
consistent than the
Go
Packers.
ahead.
In the last 2 years, 2 or 3 years, they've been more consistent than the Packers.
They have. But the Packers, if they wouldn't have missed both their stars last year in Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones, they would have been there with the Rams. They would have been contenders with the Rams.
So then let me propose to you a different question, right? Let's assume that every NFL football team in the league, there's no such thing as injuries. It doesn't exist. Every team is 100% healthy every game
So
of
we
the season.
turn the injuries off.
We turn injuries off like in Madden.
6 seconds.
Who are the top 3 football teams in the NFL? We turn off.
Rephrase that again. I'm replying to Ghost real quick.
There's no injuries at all. Who are the top 3 NFL teams?
Who are the top 3 with no injuries?
No, if there's no such thing as injuries in the NFL, no human could ever be injured. No broken bones, no back spasms, nothing. No such thing as injury. Every NFL team is 100% healthy on offense.
Yeah, it took 6 seconds. It was
man.
Who are the top 3 NFL
But
teams?
it's cool. I know you didn't want to wipe. I know you're good.
Man. With all, oh man, that's because my Patriots have to be in that conversation with everyone that sat out on defense this year. And if Cam is at the helm at quarterback, we've seen
I figured, and
how
that's why I
well it
pulled it.
flows and how dangerous we can be on the offense. Honestly, I know how biased this may be, and me being a Patriots fan, but I gotta put the Patriots at number 3. I have to. With how well we played last year, and how defense pretty much led us to the Super Bowl and won the Super Bowl for us, besides Rob Gronkowski's game-saving catch. We wouldn't have made it as far as we did regarding without our defense and making it to the Super Bowl. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Who's your number two?
My number 2 with no injuries. Oh,
Yep.
wow. I still got to stick with Pittsburgh. I still have to stick with Pittsburgh because
But that's what I've said. It's
they're,
not a knock
they're
to
so
it's not
powerful on both
to
sides of the football.
it's not a knock
And
to
like you
the
said,
Rams.
James Conner is underrated. And with Roethlisberger finding another receiver to be able to open up that field and getting another person to do that, that made that team even more dangerous. And it's going to be interesting to see the next couple of weeks. My number 1 still has to be the Green Bay Packers. The defense is underrated. They have injuries on that defense. And then with a healthy Devontae Adams and with a healthy Aaron Jones, we discussed this earlier. Aaron Jones can go off at any given moment for a 200-yard game. On top of on top of Aaron Rodgers also throwing for 400 yards. Like, it's that team's dangerous. And you stated earlier, when you get a Marquez Valdez-Scantling coming out and showing out, and an Alan Lazard to show out for Aaron Rodgers and basically be in the mentality of the next man up, it's hard not to put Green Bay at the top of that list.
Yep. Okay. Hiatus, what were you saying? You said something.
Yeah, what I was saying was it's not a knock to the Rams. The thing is that it's been what about 2 or 3 years since the Rams like really got their stuff together.
Yes.
And there was one Super Bowl trip that they made, didn't win, and another unfulfilling season. So it's just while I'm trying to give them the respect that they've earned, I'm also waiting to see them put it together. Because that year that they went to the Super Bowl, they were supposed to win.
Yep.
There was no reason for them
the
not
Patriots
to
shouldn't
pull
have won
off.
that Super Bowl. Me
There
being a
was no
Patriots
reason
fan,
for them
we
not
should
to
have
pull
not
that
won
off.
that Super Bowl.
So that's what I'm saying is
But once again,
seeing the cohesive.
they had a new head coach, which is why I don't think the Packers can go this year. But continue on, hey.
Got you. But that's what I'm waiting to see. I'm waiting to see like that stability of them. Like after this season, if they go far they'll definitely be higher because they've shown for the past 3 years that they've been consistent. But it's just I don't know because they're like one injury away from just falling apart. That's what it seems like. And they're not the only team, but right now, so far, with the teams that have been playing, our traditional ones have kind of stepped into their traditional roles. The Pittsburghs, Steelers, the Saints, the Green Bay. Like we're surprised by the Browns, we're surprised by the Bills, we're surprised by some teams that are doing better than what they would normally do. But at the same time, our normal teams outside of the Eagles and the Atlanta Falcons, they're right where we expect them to be. So it's like, I got to give them time to breathe. It's not a knock to them. I want to see them do great. Would love for the Rams to get a championship and finally, all of the years that they spent in St. Louis. I mean, their only claim to fame was Kurt Warner.
That's such a good team that they have with good Kurt Warner.
Love to see that happen.
Or Bruce Holt. And
Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Isaac Bruce.
I would
Isaac
love
Bruce and Torrey Holt. And then
they literally just had freaking
Marshall
Todd Gurley,
Falk, who is one of the best running backs ever.
Thank you.
I mean, they literally just had Todd Gurley, Robert Woods, Brandon Cooks, Cooper Kupp. Like they literally just had a squad. Even their defense was a squad, but
exactly.
But Bill Belichick just out coached them.
Yes,
And that was Jared Goff's first Super Bowl, and he panicked. He could
yes,
not take the
and
pressure.
that's why I
And
brought
see,
up the factor of Jared
that's
Goff
another
earlier,
issue.
is because he
That's another
lets that
issue
get
because
to him.
It would be different if he got
because
back there, though. It would be different. If the
it
same
was
thing, if Cam Newton gets back, if Cam Newton goes to the
that's who
Super
I was
Bowl, who's
gonna
winning
bring
it?
up.
I knew that was
That's who I was
coming.
gonna bring up because it's been a detriment to Cam ever since he made it there
Yep.
and fell apart. Like even when he's semi-healthy, he's not the same Cam that he was 2015
No.
when he was in the brightest of lights.
Yeah.
Because when you lose, the scrutiny that comes on you is so thick, it is mentally tasking. And a lot of NFL players can't make it past the brunt of that storm.
Nope. And once they hit that and that
Yeah,
wall
what's
forms, they can't get past it after that. It's like a shadow in the back of their memory for forever.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you a couple of top teams. If there were no such thing as injuries, that would be at the top of the list. And Ghost definitely hit on one. The Philadelphia Eagles would be a different story than what they are right now.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing, Hiatus? Why are you
I
laughing?
don't
Why are you
agree
shaking
with
your head?
I can't stand Carson Wentz. Carson
Look.
Wentz was a mistake for that team.
Man.
Look. Carson Wentz
Absolute
has
mistake for
been
that
no.
team.
Carson Wentz has been playing all these games, still throwing over 300 yards and for minimum 2 touchdowns a game, sometimes
He
even
makes
3.
too many turnovers.
But look who's not out there. Alshon
Are
Jeffrey
you telling me
and Deshaun
two
Jackson.
old ass wide receivers that are about
Look
to
at Carson
retire?
Wentz stats with him. Look at Carson Wentz stats with those boys on the help. I'm telling you, you'll be shocked.
Look,
You
Liam
can
is
never
gonna give
rely
you
on
the
Deshaun
numbers.
Jackson.
No, but I'm saying we're talking about injuries are off. We're not talking about relying, so that's not even a question.
I know.
Carson Wentz fully healthy. Miles Sanders fully healthy. Alshon Jeffrey, Deshaun Jackson. That is a different football
Can't trust
team,
Carson Wentz.
bro. Carson
can't
Wentz
trust
got
him.
them to the
He's
Super
worse
Bowl.
than
Nick
Jared
Foles
Goff
won
when
the
it
Super
comes. He's
Yes,
worse
you
than
can play
Jared
with
Goff when it
person.
comes to pressure.
Oh no,
But you do
you're
have the
crazy,
opportunity.
dude.
He
Carson
turns over
Wentz
the ball
got
too
them
much.
there.
I don't like Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz got the Eagles there. Nick Foles got them through the playoffs to the Super Bowl. Carson Wentz got them there.
He did. But
we haven't seen that Carson Wentz because he has nobody to throw to. It's the same thing we're seeing with
Carson Wentz, and
it's
if
Bradford.
He would have ended up staying as that starter and not getting hurt against the Rams in that game. I don't think Carson Wentz leads that team through the NFC. I really do. I really do.
I think Carson Wentz is that good. You just can't, Melby. You just can't unsee the way he's been playing recently without his best starters in the game.
Discuss it
Even
it's a
with
different
his best
game.
starters, it's hard to even imagine.
Yeah,
bro. No, dude. Look at Carson starters.
They had their full team in week 1 and let the Washington football team come back and beat them.
Alshon Jeffrey and Jackson were both in week 1 in game 1.
I'm pretty positive.
No, that is false. Alshon Jeffrey hasn't played, bro. His number one target, his number one wide receiver has not been playing.
I wouldn't consider Alshon the number 1. I'd still give it to Deshaun. Just because of his playmaking ability.
No way. You got to give it to the possession receiver, not the deep threat. But also another team that would be at the top of the leaderboards if it wasn't for injuries. And I hate to say it. I said it. I'm a Cowboys fan. I already gave the Eagles their respect. And now I have to give the 49ers their respect. If the 49ers are 100% healthy on offense and defense, this is a different football team. We imagine if the 49ers defense was completely healthy. Nick Bosa can give Khalil Mack and Aaron Jones a run for his flipping money, bro.
True.
That defense is
Nick Bosa season, he was running through the line, and you know I love wrestling, belly to back.
Hey,
bro.
If Bosa doesn't get hurt this year, he puts up better numbers than Aaron Donald does.
Bro, think about it.
He puts up better numbers than Aaron Donald.
Kittle healthy, all their running backs healthy, Jimmy Garoppolo healthy, Marquise Goodwin doesn't opt out because of COVID-19. Like, it's a
Marquise
different
really
football.
didn't do anything last year, though, unfortunately.
Okay,
And
Marquise Goodwin is
for
like the
as good as a receiver that he is, he needs to.
well,
He
this
needs to
year
do
there's no
something.
Emmanuel Sanders, so they
Well,
would have
yeah,
to leave.
but he needs to be able. Once he comes back, he needs to be able to do something because he's been a disappointment pretty much since he's come into the league, unfortunately, besides the one good year that he had. And I want to say that was the year that he had Kaepernick at quarterback.
And that's another team that, due to Super Bowl loss, has kind of somewhat been traumatized. That and injuries, like you stated, has been traumatized by, because the last time that they showed life was when they had that Super Bowl run, and that was an impromptu change to Kaepernick, and he took it and ran with it. He just couldn't finish the job, but he got them there. And then after that, they've had consistent, decent runs during the regular season, but just never never ran, turned into anything.
Right.
So I mean, it's possible that they could, but that would put a lot of possibilities.
Ghost brings up a really good question. That was another topic that I had accidentally skipped over.
Yeah, I'm
What
here.
the hell happened to the Arizona Cardinals, guys? That's
Oh.
the topic that we were going to talk about. Me and Lamb were raving about that before we started on stream, guys.
And
Yep.
team what?
That was a topic. Where the hell
Before
is
the
Kenyon
season
Drake?
started, guys, Kyler Murray, we've spoken about this a couple of weeks now on the podcast. Kyler Murray came out and stated that guaranteed he's going to get Hopkins, Larry Fitzgerald, and Christian Kirk all 1,000-yard seasons. And ever since he has said that, we have seen Hopkins triple
Dominate.
the targets that both combined Christian Kirk and Larry Fitzgerald have been getting. When you come out and state that, and you say that you're going to get these wide receivers all 1,000-yard seasons, and you're only looking at this one guy basically and targeting him anywhere between 10 to 20 times a game, and his best game this season was 14 receptions for, I want to say, 175 yards.
That's ridiculous.
So you're telling me you pretty much looked at the dude 20 times throughout the game, got him the ball 14 of the times completively, but you're not looking at a Christian Kirk or a Larry Fitzgerald. And then what also happened to Kenyon Drake? Kenyon Drake had a couple of games last year of 200 yards rushing on the ground.
Dude, he was dominating.
And we have seen nothing of Kenyon Drake this year.
Last year was
his
the
backup,
Kenyon Drake and Derrick Henry show. That's what it was last year.
And then that last year, before Arizona even signed Kenyon Drake, David Johnson went out with an injury, and Chase Edmonds went off. Dude was the number one waiver wire pick for 2 weeks until he got hurt. And he's shown that again this year. When he gets the opportunity, the dude's going to go off. And for them to not have their 2 or 3 wide receivers not to show out, and then their top running back not to show out, and then on top of that, their defense isn't where it was the last couple of years either. They have the number 3 sack guy last year, and Chandler Jones. Chandler Jones can get to the quarterback. He creates pressure. He always disturbs the offense. So you're telling me that you have a Patrick Peterson in the secondary, who's one of the best corners in the league still. You got one of the best pass rushers in the league. And then on paper, you've probably almost got the best offense in the league as well. And you're telling me that what are we at, 2-3 for Arizona right now?
You know what their problem is on offense? The quarterback. Kyler Murray, shut up.
Yes, he shouldn't have stated that in the beginning of the year, and it's come back to haunt him.
Aaron Rodgers, bro. You're not Aaron Rodgers.
He's not a Drew Brees.
You're not Drew Brees. Shut up.
Yeah.
You're Kyler Murray, and you're in your second year, which means the NFL DBs And linebackers, they have footage on you from all of last year.
Yep. And he's not
So-
been able to. He's had a couple of good runs to where he scored, but for the most part, they've almost pretty much kept him contained inside the pocket and made him throw the ball.
Sophomore slump, bro. It
Yes.
happened to Jared Goff. It happened to Joe Flacco. It happens to everybody, and it's happening to you. Next year,
The
by
only
default,
person that hasn't happened to in recent years, we haven't seen it from Pat Mahomes yet.
oh yeah. Well,
We never saw it from Pat Mahomes. We haven't seen it yet.
is a different breed. We haven't
Yeah,
seen a bad
whole
year from
different breed.
Aaron Rodgers either. The worst year we saw from Aaron Rodgers was from the Green Bay Packers was when Aaron Rodgers was injured and couldn't play. That's the worst we saw.
Literally.
True.
Other than that, he was hands down the third best quarterback in the league, if not up above that.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes is a different beast. I don't think he'll.
in that time, it was Russell, Aaron Rodgers, and Tom Brady were 1, 2, 3 in any given order, depending on the season and what you were in.
By the way, isn't it crazy that none of us mentioned the Seattle Seahawks in our top 4
Oh,
or
I had
5?
it backwards, Ghost. My bad. Go
Not
ahead.
one of us.
We didn't have who in top 5?
Seattle Seahawks, not one of
No,
us.
they dropped out of mine. This week they dropped out of mine. Their defense has to show up. Their offense is fine, but they gotta get that they gotta get that defense together. If they don't get that defense together like they normally have, they're gonna have some issues, especially with how tough that NFC is.
Russell Wilson, you stop putting 2-minute drills to win games.
My apologies. I tried.
What's crazy though is I'll give him props. He had 22 seconds on the clock the other week before halftime and drove that team down the field for a score. I'll give that dude props for that. He's on an MVP season this year. He really is. And as of right now, he is the MVP so far this year.
The only problem is, I think Dak Prescott was the MVP, but the only problem is, he's going to have to go up against Green Bay. He's going to have to go up against New Orleans. I mean, he's got some big tasks ahead of him. And Green Bay is the kryptonite to every team in the NFC who thinks they have testicles. The Green Bay Packers are the kryptonite, bro. They're like, oh, so you're undefeated, are you? Oh, so you have a chance at the wild card, do you? And Aaron Rodgers destroyed their hopes and dreams.
We're talking last 4 years, Ghost. Pretty much since Peyton retired, is that it's been Russell, Brady, and Drew.
Also, Tampa Bay's up there if they're 100% healthy. They're way up there too.
Yeah, their defense been struggling this year though. Their defense isn't what it was like it was last year. Their defense was really good last year, and it hasn't been the case this year. We haven't seen Shaquille Barrett do what he does and be a force. Dude almost broke the sack record last year, and I want to say he's barely got another quarterback this year. I drafted him for that purpose because I was expecting that. All right, chat. We're out of topics. Is there anything else that chat would love to ask, or is there anything that either Hiatus or Lamb would love to include inside the podcast as well, guys?
I just want to say I thank you guys for putting up with me, being able to then having to multitask.
That's why I put it up at the beginning of the stream when everyone got in. I was like, "Hi, this is multitasking with JJ, guys.
Oh my
We're gonna have to give him a break.
So tough.
He multitasking today. I caught him off guard on that first NBA question too. He was already talking to JJ, and he's like, "Oh, damn! I just got out of question."
Right.
Hey, Hiatus.
I appreciate y'all.
You tell JJ we don't know him nothing. He made the suggestion that you're a sports guy too, and you need to be in this podcast. He willingly did that.
He did.
Yeah, JJ.
He did. Now he
willingly did it. Now he wants you back.
Take it back.
Look, now he wants you back, but he can't have you.
Oh, and Ghost did find us that answer earlier, guys. When I was searching for the first head coach to come in and win during their first season, was Gary Kubiak's first season with Peyton Manning when they won the Super Bowl.
Oh.
He's the only head coach and the first head coach to come in and win a Super Bowl in his first season.
And I don't believe Aaron Rodgers is going to be able to do that this year. Sorry.
We were having
That's
that
why.
talk
That's why they're
earlier,
not in my
Ghost.
top 3.
They got such a good. It's gonna be interesting. The NFC, as long
Oh,
as he can get by the Rams, or no, sorry, let me put it. If he can get by Pete Carroll and his smartness, then I think he can get by anybody else in the NFC. But if they can't surpass Pete Carroll and his smartness and his IQ for the game, they won't make it anywhere in the NFC. Not this year, anyways. Not with
Yeah.
the new head coach.
Yep. Not first year. Maybe second
Because
year.
you already know that they're either gonna end up facing the Rams or Seattle, or maybe even possibly
The New
Drew
Orleans
Brees
Saints.
and New Orleans Saints, or even a Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Bro, a healthy New
That's
Orleans
gonna
Saints.
be a hard division to win in when it
Woo-wee.
comes to playoff time, guys. And unfortunately for Lambs Cowboys, they're gonna end up being one of the lower seeds, and Andy Dalton's not gonna be able to lead them to it, because we've seen that from
We're
Andy
always the
Dalton
lower seed.
We've seen that from Andy Dalton in recent years. He can never lead them past the first round.
Yeah, but he's also never had an Ezekiel Elliott with an Amari Cooper, with a CD
No, but we're
Lamb.
also
with
talking
a
about
Mitchell.
Andy Dalton.
well, when you
No,
dive into
dude, Andy
coaching,
Dalton
say
balls
that
out.
He
He's
does.
never
he
had an
does.
offensive
I just
line.
didn't see him left.
He's never had an offensive line.
Yeah, the new coach is sketchy, Ghost. When it comes to crunch time and when it comes to games to matter, it's gonna
So,
have to come from up here. And honestly, as a new head coach, obviously don't take it from your gut. Don't take it from your gut. Take it from your mentality, take it from your videos, and take it from what you know. Don't. It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be definitely something to look forward to, but I think Green Bay is still the number one contender in the NFC, as my opinion goes right now. And with Aaron Rodgers at the helm, that head coach is only gonna get smarter throughout the season.
I don't know. I still got to give the edge to the Rams. I think Aaron Donald is going to get double teamed by the Green Bay's offensive line, and someone else is going to eat Aaron Rodgers up every single time. I feel like he's going to get frustrated. He's going to be rushed. They can get to Aaron
that's
Rodgers.
The thing that we haven't really seen a lot. Aaron
Aaron
Rodgers
has
hasn't
30
had to run
seconds to
for
throw
his
the ball.
life this year.
Yeah,
And
he
then
has
on
30
top
seconds
of
to throw the
having
ball.
Aaron Jones as a running back and healthy this year, it can be dangerous if they can stay healthy. Their offense is nasty.
Aaron Jones, I believe, is going to clog that line up, baby.
Go says
Clog
top picks for the week to win top 5 go. Top 5 picks for the week.
I got you. I got the NFL schedule.
I got it up already too.
I got the NFL schedule.
Now
and
we doing top 5 games, or are we doing top 5 upsets?
ooh, that's a good one.
All right, we're doing both. Which one do you want us to do first? First, then, we doing upsets, or we doing the actual winners?
How about we do 2 and 2? Because 5, that could be a little difficult to keep up track.
Let's do 3 and 3. 3 and 3 won't be too bad. Because if we're doing both, then it should be all right.
So we all agree that the Packers beat the Buccaneers.
Yep.
Yes, I'm saying Packers are beating the Bucks.
Okay, so I say the Rams beat the 49ers as well.
We don't know what kind of Jimmy G we're going to see, so that's going to be interesting. And that defense is still potent on the 49ers side, even with missing Nick Bosa.
49ers have too many injuries, and the Rams almost have none.
But they got their main running back, and he went off last week for 100 yards.
On who?
What do you mean on who?
What team did he go off and run for 100 yards on?
For them to be down the whole game and still get a 100-yard game is fairly impressive, considering they sat their starting quarterback at halftime.
What team?
They played against the Dolphins. The Dolphins beat the shit out of them 43-17.
There's your
right,
100
cool.
yards rushing.
Yeah, but I mean, when you're supposed to be in a passing game to get caught up and your running back still gets 100 yards, coming back from an injury on top of that too. All right. Who's your next one, Lamb? Oh, so you
Well,
got two already. So
yeah,
you
that's two.
got Green Bay beating
The
Tampa,
Bucks and the Rams beating the
and the Rams
Niners.
beating the Niners.
I think Browns are gonna win.
What? Oh, sorry, that was loud. Oh my god. Did he say he thinks the Cleveland Browns are going to beat
Holy
Pittsburgh?
wow! In Pittsburgh, chat.
He
I
said,
it's.
he
I think it's
said,
gonna be shocking.
no, hold on.
That's why
Hold
I'm
on.
going.
Hold on, hiatus. Hold on. Hold on. Melby, he just said
I
Baker
don't.
Mayfield is going to beat Ben Roethlisberger.
Yep. We're
Think
talking
about
about
what that
upsets
means.
now.
No, just everybody pause.
And Cleveland doesn't have a decent offensive line. So you know that Pittsburgh defense is going to be blitzing the hell out of Baker that whole game.
He just said Baker Mayfield is going to beat
I
Ben
know.
Roethlisberger.
I
That's
know.
a bold prediction. So what I'm going to say is, here's my bold prediction. All
But
right, the Cleveland Browns only kick field goals and don't even score a touchdown.
oh, agree.
That's my bold prediction.
Agreed.
But you're saying they're still going to beat Pittsburgh?
No, God, no.
No, I'm asking hiatus.
Oh,
Yes.
On field goals.
It's happened before. They've lost the field goals.
That is true. It is true.
Let's not act
true.
like it hasn't happened.
It is true.
Baker Mayfield is one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL if you look at his statistics.
It is bad. He's bottom 5 in the league when it comes to statistics, chat. Baker's
They win
Baker's
by
not
running
the
that
hype
football.
on what he's been hyped up to be.
Yeah, they win by Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt.
Yep.
That's how they win. But guess what? Devin Bush, TJ Watt, it ain't gonna happen. Fully healthy, it ain't gonna happen. I hope it don't happen.
All right,
I'll be crushed if the Browns beat the Steelers. I will be crushed.
Who's your
I will be a
3 upsets
shell
then,
of
Lamb?
my former self.
We'll let you get your 3 wins in, and who's your 3 upsets now?
Listen. When it happens, Lamb, I'm just gonna text you. I'm just gonna text you. I'm gonna be like, boom, Titans.
That's funny. Who's your 3 upsets, Lamb? Let's hear it.
I'm looking to see right now. I don't know if there's any upsets. I think every team with a winning record is going to beat every team with a losing record.
You really think so? No upsets
I don't
this
see
week?
any upsets because the Eagles aren't going to beat the Ravens. Okay, the Texans aren't going to beat the Titans. Who cares about the Falcons and the Vikings?
True.
The Bengals are not going to beat the Colts. I don't believe. But I guess if I had to pick one, it would be Bengals and Colts. I choose the Bengals to win over the Indianapolis Colts. That would be my upset for real.
Okay.
The Lions and Jaguars are both terrible. The Washington football team and the Giants are both terrible. I think the Bears are going to destroy the Panthers. I think the Patriots. I don't know if the Broncos will even get into the red zone. I'm sorry.
So you got Dallas winning no matter what against Arizona?
Absolutely. So I guess, well, that's an upset. So I choose the Cowboys over the Cardinals, and then I choose, what was the other one? The Bengals over the Colts.
Cardinals as an upset. Ooh.
Yeah, because the Cowboys, I mean, we've only won 2 games. They've won 3 games, so technically it would be an upset.
Okay.
Oof.
Hiatus, what do you got, man? Who's your 3 winners this week? Obviously, you said you got Green Bay and Tampa. Who's your second?
Hold on.
You good, man. We understand.
Okay.
For everyone new in chat, Hiatus is over here multitasking, helping out with raids and JJ, guys. JJ is also going. Pretty sure most of y'all know that, since most of y'all in here are also from JJ streams. So y'all probably have both of us up at the same time. Much appreciated. Much love to both of y'all, all of y'all, for doing that if you guys are in that case. But Hiatus is multitasking with us tonight, guys. He's been helping out with JJ all night long. So big shout out to JJ, and also big shout out to Hiatus for also doing that.
But I mean, like I said, we got Green Bay over Tampa. I believe that it's gonna pull that out. Um, I believe that the Browns are gonna create that upset and they're gonna take that on
Okay,
Pittsburgh,
so that's your one
even
and
though it's
one.
unpopular opinion.
That's your 1-1.
But but
I think it lives like
um,
Doritos.
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 I'm trying to think who else who else do we got
We
on
got
the list?
you got
uh
Houston at
South.
Tennessee, Cincy at
Yeah.
Indy, Atlanta at Minnesota, Denver at New England, Washington at Giants, Baltimore at Philly, Cleveland at Pittsburgh, Chicago at Carolina, Detroit at Jacksonville.
I think New England wins. I
Okay.
think
Yeah.
they pull. I mean that's. I think
Agreed.
it's a good. It's going to be good for Cam Newton to get back acclimated and pull. So I think it's gonna be dope for them
Julian
to
Edelman is
get
out, by
back
the
and
way.
huh.
Julian Edelman is out.
Interesting.
Sony Michelle is
Um.
out.
Yeah,
It's going to be
I
Cam
saw that
Newton
Sony
and the
Yeah.
Michelle was
rookie
out.
Damian Harris, and I still think they pull it off.
James White's
Yeah.
still in there as well. You
I
can't
mean
forget about
the
James White. And Burkhead. Burkhead's bad. Watch Burkhead go off this game. Every time that situational happens, Burkhead shows out.
yeah. I think they'll figure out a way to get it done. Um. I just believe in their winning pedigree. I mean, it's what it is. Like it don't matter. And this is the year that the Patriots are trying to prove the fact that they didn't need Tom Brady.
Right.
So there any chance they get to knock off any team, they're gonna give it 110. It don't matter if it's the scrub squad.
Right.
it's
And
Well,
we've
I'll
it's
seen
tell
gonna be
you,
a dog fight.
they don't need Tom Brady to win games, but they do need Tom Brady to win championships.
I
I'm
get
sorry.
you.
I think
I
Cam can
get
get
you.
us there. Cam's had that opportunity. He's had the taste of being in it at least. And you can't. Yeah, I see you. I see you. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something, though, because I love you, bro. I'm going to tell you something.
But you can never forget about Bill Belichick and his ability to coach anybody and anybody and what he does.
All right. The Patriots, as good as
Wait,
they
what
are,
happened?
and as a trash division as they're in, they cannot beat
I
the
was.
Tennessee Titans,
We both
the
came
Pittsburgh
over.
Steelers,
We lost to the
We were
Titans
texting.
last year in the playoffs.
the
And I'll give
Kansas
you
City
that.
Chiefs. Yeah, with who? With
We
Cam
had
Newton or with Tom
We
Brady?
had Tom Brady, but we also
Yeah.
beat the Kansas City Chiefs to go to the Super
So-
Bowl against Patrick Mahomes.
So Cam Newton is not Cam Newton's Patriots without Rob Gronkowski, without Tom Brady, is not going to be able to beat the Tennessee Titans, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Kansas City Chiefs. Those three teams. They can beat everybody else, I believe, but those three teams are not going to be able to get by. I don't believe it.
Any given Sunday. And like I said, don't ever count out Bill Belichick no matter who he has on that squad. And we've seen it before.
All I'm gonna say is, though we've gotten through week 6, and for the most part, how we think things have played out, they've played out to this point. But we have to understand that 2020 has been one of the most bizarre years that we've ever experienced.
Yeah,
So,
fantasy football is
Just
trash.
do
dude.
not rule out some crazy off the wall stuff happening to close out the season.
Literally.
I mean, just do not, because we've seen something, which is the reason why I make, statements like, "Oh, the Browns are gonna beat," because their minds are on so many different things. They need to be mentally tough.
Hiatus. The
Yeah,
Browns are not going to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers.
yeah, I get you. I get you.
All right, hiatus. We got you at 1-1, man. We got your Green Bay and Tampa as your one, and then you got Cleveland upsetting Pittsburgh. Who's your
And he
other two
also-
winners?
He also got New England winning.
Okay, so New England winning, so that'll be your second win. Who's your third win?
Cowboys at Cardinals. Say it, baby.
I'll go with that.
Oh, he's going with it.
Hey,
Okay.
I'm telling
Okay.
you,
Any
the
more
Cardinals
upsets,
are
hiatus?
trash. The
Any
Cardinals
more,
are just as trash as the Browns are.
any more
Sorry.
upsets, hiatus?
Bruh, stop tripping. I was coming from. I know, but I was coming from the right. I was coming from the right side. I was speaking too slow. Chill.
JJ giving them shit, chat.
All right.
Oh,
Dang. I know you is. What then? What? Look, you listen.
That's
Then you should have
funny.
just said little buddy and move on.
shout out to my boy JT. I got you,
Oh,
baby. I
man.
got you.
That's
Boom, boom,
dope.
boom.
Hiatus, you got any more
Yeah.
upsets for the week, man?
Nothing. Nothing I can think
Nothing
of
else?
right now.
All
Yeah.
right, guys. We're going to make this interesting, and I already know Lamb's going to get on my ass for it.
Let me hear it.
I already know.
I-
So my
I-
three
I trust
winners.
you.
My three winners. Green Bay at Tampa. New England at Denver. I'm going to side with hiatus on that one because that is going to be a good game. We always struggle
It
against Denver.
Cam Newton will win that game by himself if
We
he has to.
always struggle against Denver. I don't know why, but we always do. Besides one or two games, it's like Miami. There are other teams that we always struggle against in the AFC, and I don't know why. My other winner. I'm going to pick. That Atlanta-Minnesota game is going to be more interesting than what you guys think.
Really?
It really is. Minnesota almost beat Seattle last week. You forget that. They gave Seattle that game. They almost beat Seattle last week.
Minnesota's too injured, bro.
I understand that, and they're without Dalvin Cook. But
Yeah,
Atlanta's
and their
also
whole-
been very injured as well in the receiving
Their
core,
starting
and that's
corner-
depleted Matt Ryan, and Matt Ryan's been questioned on whether or not he's even going to finish this season.
Their starting DBs are out, Minnesota. Their
Yeah.
starting DBs are out. Feels bad.
And that's why it's going to be a very interesting game. And
Man, whoever has Calvin Ridley is going to light it up. He's going to have like
Light it up.
220 receiving yards, bro. He's going to light it up.
light it up.
Their top DBs are out. What? Imagine.
It's going to be a good game. It's going to be back and forth because Ridley and Thielen are both going to go off on both sides. On both sides because Atlanta, their whole secondary has been injured for weeks now.
I say Minnesota doesn't score a touchdown.
Minnesota's going to score. Adam Thielen's not going to get into the end zone with that depleted of an Atlanta defense.
Hey, I'm saying without Dalvin Cook,
Adam-
though, opening that
I'm
well,
calling-
no, Madison's not bad. I'll get that to you. Madison's not bad.
I'm calling Adam Thielen has 100 yards and 2 touchdowns, chat.
I think Madison is going to have 2 touchdowns.
Madison's no joke. Madison's
Yeah,
nice.
he's not bad. That's a good backup.
Madison's
I'll
going to
give you
get a
that.
touchdown on the ground, but Adam Thielen's going to be the main guy, and he's going to get 2 in the air, guys. Minnesota's going to win this game against Atlanta. Especially Matt Ryan struggling the way he's been struggling as well, and then being questioned about his job and whether or not he's going to finish the season.
I'm actually going to back Melby up, and I'm going to say Minnesota does win this game just because they have a better O-line and D-line than Atlanta, and Madison is a solid backup.
Madison's
He
nice.
is good. Yeah, and I say he gets 2 touchdowns, and I say Adam Thielen. I don't think Adam Thielen gets a touchdown. I think they lean on the tight end. I think he's going to lean on the tight end this week. That's what I think.
And
I
he's
think
got
Adam
2
Thielen's
good
going to have
tight
to.
ends too, Rudolph and Irvin.
Yeah.
Irvin's been an up-and-coming product, and Rudolph's been taking him under his wing, and we've been seeing that.
Yeah.
But I still think with that depleted secondary, Thielen's going to get 2. Madison will get 1. So that's my 3, chat. My upsets. I'm taking Houston over Tennessee, chat.
What?
I am taking
Whoa.
Houston over Tennessee. Tennessee is going to get
Whoa.
overhyped about that win against the Bills. They're going to get overhyped against the win against that Bills. Houston is a different team without Bill
Doritos.
O'Brien there now, guys. And we saw that this past week. Deshaun Watson went off. They've got healthy running backs. They've got a decent wide receiver core still. Brandon Cooks went off last week, guys. Brandon Cooks isn't no joke. Brandon Cooks is still a top wide receiver in the league when he's healthy. He can go off at any given moment. And then if Will Fuller's healthy, that's another given product next to him. So they have options on that team. And their defense is no joke. J.J. Watt's back this year, guys. J.J. Watt is after people. So that is my one upset this week. I am picking Houston over Tennessee. My second upset, because of how bad Indianapolis has been on offense, I am going to take Cincinnati over Indy.
Oh, keep that same energy.
I am
That's
taking
it.
Cincy over Indy. Phillip Rivers is not the dude on offense. They're injured at running back. And they haven't figured out which running back is going to be the go-to guy. T.Y. Hilton has been nowheres this year.
He's a shell of his
Been nowheres. And then Rivers is without one of his tight ends that he's actually been favoring this year, Mo Alley-Cox this week as well. Mo Alley-Cox is out this week. And then Doyle's been hurt this year. So they're going to struggle on offense again this week. AJ Green, even though he said he wants to be traded, it was lip read. It's been all over the place. Speculation that supposedly we're supposed to pick him up. We'll see. We have trade history with Cincy. But I think AJ Green gets a couple of receptions this week. Somewhat gets going. That's gonna wake Joe Burrow up. Joe Burrow's gonna be like, well, shit, I need to get this dude the ball. He's capable of what he needs to be. And regardless of the hammy strain that he had last week, AJ Green is still a threat on the field, guys, even though we haven't seen it this year at all. Joe Mixon obviously can go off at any given point. We saw that not last week, but the week before. Dude was a monster, had 3 touchdowns, almost 200 yards on the ground.
He still had about 80-something, 90.
He still almost hit the century mark last week, but we were expecting more out of Joe Mixon and to almost replicate his production, but it didn't happen. But
he needs an O-line, poor guy.
Exactly, he really does. But Cincinnati is my upset over Indy this week as well.
I agree.
Then my third one, I am taking Arizona over Dallas.
No!
I'm taking Arizona over Dallas, guys. Arizona's going to get their shit together. They're not just going to look at one guy. They can't afford to just look at one guy anymore. They can't. They have Coronel. Hey. They have
You sure you don't want to join the bandwagon?
Your dog don't even agree with that.
No, my dog's so mad at me making that pick.
Your dog don't even agree with that pick.
But
she said no.
They're gonna start working things out, and it's gonna be interesting, guys. That offense has way too many weapons to not be scoring the ball and doing what they're supposed to be doing. And we brought this up. Kenyon Drake hasn't been a factor yet this year. I believe that's going to change. Dallas defense is obviously an open hole, and Lamb will even admit to that. I know he will. It's a gaping hole on that defense right now. Lamb.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to admit it, chat, but I know he'll admit it because we talked about it last week on our podcast.
Say it again, Melby. Say it again.
The Dallas defense is an open hole.
It's horrible. It's the worst defense in the history of the NFL that I've ever seen, besides like the Dolphins, like maybe 2 years ago. That was also pretty bad. But this is horrible.
It is key to injuries as well. They're without probably one of the best linebackers in the league, probably even Vander Esch. With losing him to a collarbone injury and not being their play caller on defense, that really hurt them.
I will say this. and I think I don't know who said it. I don't know if it was Melby or Hiatus or one of my buddies at the barbershop, but when you have the worst defense in the NFL with as many good defensive players as you have on your team, it
Yes.
can only get better, right? Last week, we saw our defense get multiple turnovers and score points off the turnovers.
But can we see that
So,
consistently?
my prediction is the Cowboys win the next 3 weeks in a row. We beat the Cardinals, we beat the Washington football team, and we
That's a
beat the
given.
Philadelphia Eagles, and then we lose to the Steelers. I predict Cowboys win the next 3 games in a row.
If Philly gets healthy during that game, that's going to be a very good game. And you even stated that yourself. If Philly's healthy, they're a dangerous team.
But
You said they only needed 10, right?
the problem is they're not healthy. Alshon Jeffrey won't be coming back. Deshaun Jackson most likely won't be coming back. And they're having a battle between management, coaching staff, and Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
They're losing trust in Carson Wentz, and Carson Wentz is saying, I've earned the trust, I've earned this contract, let me play football. But they're considering benching him, and those conversations are going on daily. Oh, the meetings are going on daily. And once that happens, you feel overwhelmed. And the pressure is getting to Carson Wentz.
It is.
It's
and
getting
that's
to
why
him. He's starting to crack.
Healthy, when we stated our teams, I didn't have Carson Wentz in there. He lets too much get to him, and we've seen that in the past, and he makes too many mistakes.
I'm sorry, what happened?
But the Cowboys win the next 3 weeks in a row. So that'll put us at 4 weeks in a row where we win, and then we'll lose to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then we'll beat the Minnesota Vikings and go back on to our winning streak again.
The Minnesota game is going to be interesting because they're going to have Dalvin Cook by then.
Maybe.
Dalvin Cook's only expected to miss 3 weeks.
Maybe.
So
and this is all depending on what we see from Andy Dalton too, by the way. So.
Exactly. Like we were talking about earlier, chat. Andy Dalton's the red rifle. He's a gunslinger. We've seen in the past he can get the receivers the ball, but he's also turnover prone. Very turnover prone. So Cowboys is going to be an interesting topic here the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. But the Cowboys do not turn the ball. They don't throw as many interceptions as the Eagles. They don't throw as many interceptions as Kyler Murray. Like they don't throw as many interceptions as Phillip Rivers. So we're definitely a more conservative football team. We're not going to go forward on fourth downs. We're not going to do trick plays on punt plays. We're very conservative. You know?
That's very true. And that comes from up above.
Yep. They're scared.
All Jerry Jones.
They're too scared to play football, bro. They're too scared.
That's all Jerry Jones. All right, chat. Before we wrap everything else up, we've had an amazing podcast today. Is there anything either Lamb or Hiatus want to include in anything today? And then, chat, you also have this opportunity to ask us any more questions or to bring anything up that you want us to talk about or anything like that of that nature as well. Go ahead and swing those through, and we'll answer those before we go ahead and end podcast as well. Lamb,
only thing I'm going to say is if you're not watching WWE wrestling, you should be. Because they are doing amazing things with amazing storylines. And for the first time in forever, it's actually becoming very, very entertaining and interesting.
And we're basically going to end on that. And that's why I wanted to end it that way, because I knew Lamb wanted to talk about WWE. I've fallen out of it a little bit, chat, in the last couple of years. I've recently started to get back into it with Goldberg being back in. Goldberg's one of my idols. I've watched him since I was a little kid with my dad. Lamb and Hiatus mainly take care of all that as of right now. I'm going to get back into it. But that's something that they wanted to end on podcast before we go ahead and raid somebody. Go ahead and touch up on that, guys, because the draft just happened this past Tuesday, I believe, if I remember right, correct?
Correct. So,
and the Raw is absolutely stacked from when I was looking at it compared to SmackDown. Like,
yeah, they just had the draft.
Completely
Every
swapped.
year there's a draft where each show gets to choose, just like the NFL draft, just like the NBA draft, what superstars they want. But
That would be dope.
the best thing that's happening right now is Roman Reigns has turned heel and is now being represented by Paul Heyman, just like
Yep.
Paul Heyman has done for Brock Lesnar. And it is the best thing
That's
that's
gonna
ever
be
happened.
interesting. And
He's in
speaking
a
of
feud
Brock
right now
Lesnar,
with his
actually,
brother.
Brock
He's in a feud
Lesnar
right
is
now with his
actually
cousin.
rumored to go back to UFC. If you guys didn't hear about that.
And current or all time, Ghost?
Yeah,
Current or
that's
all
why I
time?
wanted to ask them both as well. Are we doing best, favorite, current, or all time? That's another good question. Current?
Current best WWE superstar?
Are we doing best or favorite current?
Let's do both.
Okay.
To me, the best WWE superstar it's Daniel Bryan. The guy, everything he does is gold. Everybody loves him. He has huge matches. He can be a heel or he can be a baby face. I think Daniel Bryan is the best WWE superstar in the business right now. The best. If CM Punk was still wrestling, I would say CM
Man,
Punk.
I
But right
miss
now,
CM Punk.
it's Daniel Bryan. But if CM Punk was in, it would be not even a
His
competition. It would be
UFC career didn't even go good either.
Yeah, that's because he's an entertainer, not a fighter.
I know, and it's so unfortunate. He shouldn't have left to begin with.
Yeah, pride, man, pride.
So unfortunate. Okay, if that's your best, then who's your favorite?
My favorite WWE superstar, and they don't use him like he should be used. I think I love Dolph Ziggler.
Oh man,
Dude, if you
Whoa.
watch Dolph
that dude is
Ziggler's
so
matches,
goofy though.
if you watch Dolph Ziggler, I'm not talking about entertaining storylines. I'm
Right.
talking about wrestling.
Yeah.
Watch Dolph Ziggler wrestle. Okay? Watch this dude wrestle. He is hands down one of the best wrestlers in WWE, but we know the same reason why Daniel Bryan doesn't have a title either is because Vince McMahon only likes the big boys.
Yo.
That's it. Brock Lesnar,
Why do
Roman
you
Reigns,
think Bobby
John
Lashley
Cena.
got so many title fights when he was winning?
The support.
Yeah, you got to have the big boys. But my favorite wrestler is it's Dolph Ziggler.
That's interesting. I was not out of all time. Your favorite wrestler is Dolph.
No,
Ziggler?
that's not all time. That's current, bro.
Oh, you're
Daniel
doing
Bryan and
current.
Dolph
Okay,
Ziggler.
my bad, chat. I smacked the headphone.
Nah, that's current. Those
Okay.
are current WWE superstars, right?
Yeah,
now.
he says remember where Dolph started though too.
Yeah. Dolph is still amazing. I just don't know why. If he leaves to AEW or TNA, he will be a world champion.
No,
He's that good.
If he goes to AEW, it's hands down world
Remember,
champion.
remember, Dolph Ziggler brought in Big E Langston and brought back Drew McIntyre.
Right.
They just use him to put over other superstars. That's what they use him for. But it's Dolph Ziggler who put all those guys over. It was Dolph. Dolph did it, bro.
I'll give you that. All right.
Yep.
Hiatus. Who's your best current wrestler?
I can't really speak to current outside of like Goldberg because I haven't watched it recently.
He's current.
Yeah, Goldberg's current.
He's current.
Still,
Okay.
Yeah, he's still
under
contract.
Yep.
But like all time for me is Ultimate Warrior.
Ooh. Okay, so you said you haven't watched currently. From most recent current favorite, who would be your most recent current favorite?
From the time that I watched, it was the Brothers of Destruction, Undertaker and Kane.
Oh, Undertaker just recently retired too. That's so unfortunate. Oh, I knew it was coming, but I didn't want to see him retire. Didn't want to see him retire. My dog's pulling me away, chat.
So who's your current, Melby? If
My-
you were still active.
What are you talking?
I just like the way he brings about himself, and pretty much how dominant he's been as well. I've got to give Bray Wyatt the props.
Because I. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Bray
Did
Wyatt.
nobody
Bray
come in
Wyatt is
with me?
pretty good, and even the matches that he's gone up of
I
just
didn't. Yeah, I
being
didn't see that he died. That's my
really
fault.
good
Because
contender
he was the one that
matches.
was
Like
calling it.
Goldberg was no joke when Bray Wyatt went up against him. Like Bray, that, and I like the character of Bray too, on how he changes back and forth. I think that kind of brings me to like him a little bit more, because you see two different aspects of the same person. You know what I mean? Like, he's pretty different. What was funny, Ghost? The CM Punk
Because he was,
started driving Alberto.
yeah, he was like, Dolph started in the Spirit Squad. I'm like, yep. And CM Punk started off being one of the ones driving Alberto Del Rio's car down the ramp.
That's awesome.
Yep.
And then my favorite, I've said this in past podcasts, guys. Goldberg, I grew up watching that dude. Like, me and my dad, rest in peace, Dad. But we had, back in VHS days, guys, we had Goldberg videotapes that we had recorded of his wrestling matches. That's how much we were into WCW when Goldberg was in WCW. He was hands down our favorite wrestler. And if my dad was probably still alive and watched wrestling and saw Goldberg come back, he would probably still have the same opinion as well. When I saw Goldberg come back and him still be the force that he is for how old that he is, and be
Seriously.
still built it the way he is, you haven't heard nothing from Goldberg in a while. And it's just like, boom, Goldberg's back. We're going to dominate WWE.
He's not strong anymore, though.
He's not. He has lost his
Poor
strength.
guy.
He really has.
Yeah.
Poor dude.
Well, that's good, because that means he's not on steroids like every other guy his age still
Oh
wrestling.
my
Man,
gosh. With
thank
veins
you.
popping
Thank
and
you.
everything.
Thank you. And
Yeah.
that's why I don't think Brock Lesnar is gonna make it in the UFC, is because he's too steroided up.
True.
He's too steroided up. Yo, Vet, what's going on, man? How's it going? You have anything to ask us during the podcast, man?
Now, all time. I know Hiatus said Ultimate Warrior.
Yep.
All time, I gotta go with. It's a three-way tie for me, and I know that's not doable. But these have always been my three favorite wrestlers. Okay, they've always been my three favorite wrestlers. The Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
Man, I love Shawn.
San Antonio, Texas.
I love Shawn
The cross
Michaels.
earring from the 80s.
Yep.
Let's go.
My dad wore a cross earring in one ear, actually.
Yep. Shout out to Shawn Michaels. Number 2, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Okay. We are the nation of domination.
Yep.
Gotta go with The Rock. Okay.
Yes.
And number 3, Chris Jericho. Okay. Chris Jericho is one of the most amazing entertainers in the history of wrestling itself.
He's a very good entertainer, but I was not a Chris
No. I'm not even talking about entertainer. The man, like Goldberg, is an entertainer, but he's trash at wrestling. All right?
Not when he first started. Goldberg, when he first got in and before he started getting dwindling down, was an amazing wrestler.
Bro, Goldberg never's been to wrestling school. He never wrestled in high school or college or anything. He just crushed people. But I'm talking about for wrestling, Chris Jericho is not only one of the greatest wrestlers that wrestling has ever seen, he's also one of the greatest entertainers. He's both.
Yeah,
both.
Give you that.
Same thing with Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels, great entertainer, great wrestler. Same thing with The Rock, great entertainer and great wrestler. But that's my three-way tie for all time. I couldn't choose. I was trying to choose, and if I have to choose, it literally comes down to The Rock and Shawn Michaels, probably.
Mine, man. Now that Ghost brings him up, I probably honestly have a three-way tie as well. I really do.
Chris Benoit was a horrible entertainer, but he was a great wrestler.
I loved Chris Benoit as a wrestler and an entertainer. He was, dude, never gave up. Ever. And he's probably one of the best submission wrestlers that we've seen, too, as well. Dude,
I'll give you that for sure.
Dude will get out of anything and put you in that neck choke real quick and just lock you right in. You're done. It was over. Like, you didn't see it coming. He's gonna be one of mine. As an entertainer and a wrestler, Chris Benoit was amazing, absolutely amazing. Mark, the Hulk is up there, but
not for me.
It was.
I'm sorry. After you get caught saying the N-word and you have a sex tape, you drop down my list.
And then
he did both.
he also took the popularity to a whole nother level that he shouldn't have either.
But man, did I love the freaking NWO.
Yeah,
I had NWO everything.
Was dope. And that's the only reason why Goldberg lost his consecutive chance at keeping going his unbeaten record was because of the
Kevin
NWO.
Nash's ego.
And
that was Kevin Nash's ego.
Yes. And
that's why Kevin Nash will never make it into any wrestlers. That's why Kevin Nash will never make it into any wrestling fans' favorite wrestlers list. He'll never do it.
I was so mad about that. I watched that match too, and I was so disappointed. I was so mad. And then when his manager got into it as well and reflected everything in that match too and interfered, that really pissed me off too. But besides that topic, this might throw you guys off a little bit, but I agree with you on Shawn Michaels. And then my other one was Eddie Guerrero.
Oh, he was amazing. I'll give you that.
I loved Eddie Guerrero. And then I have to throw in another one because he's absolutely amazing and well and also just recently came back. I loved Rey Mysterio, chat. Rey Mysterio was legit. For a dude being that small and being as good as an entertainer and a wrestler and going up against some of the biggest guys in wrestling, the Big Show at that, multiple times. I've always been a Rey Mysterio fan, so I have to throw Rey Mysterio into that mix as well.
I've never liked that dude.
You've never liked Rey? Really?
I don't know why. Never liked him. I have no reason.
I've always liked Rey Mysterio, man. I've always been a Rey fan.
I just never liked him. I have no reason to back it up. He's a great guy. He does a lot of charity.
Yes,
he's been in the league forever. Like, I have no reason not to like him. I just don't like him.
Wow, that's
interesting.
I just enjoyed the fact that he brought luchadoring to wrestling.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, he did bring it back to its relevance for sure.
Yeah.
Last question says Ghost, best all-time groups. So we doing tag team then, Ghost?
New World Order.
We doing actual group.
New World Order.
Because if it's actual group, I've got to agree with Lamb. NWO was the shit. Nah, I don't think you can get a better group than the NWO, honestly.
The original, the three. Hulk Hogan and the Outsiders.
Yeah.
Just the three.
I will
Nash,
say,
Hall, and Hogan. Just the three.
Yeah,
I will say, and that what rivaled them was the Generation X.
I still
think NWO was better. I still think NWO was better by far.
NWO was better, but you have to get D-Generation X their props. What they did and what they changed for Raw, let alone WWE alone. You never saw those two coming together. I'm pretty positive those two disliked each other before they came together.
I'm going to give y'all my take on NWO versus DX and why I choose NWO. NWO changed wrestling.
They did. They really did.
Okay? They changed wrestling forever. D-Generation
True.
X did not change wrestling forever. They
No,
just did a lot of
They
sex
changed
jokes.
that certain era of wrestling, and that was it.
No, all they did was lots of sex jokes and sexual innuendo. That's it. The NWO didn't do that. They changed wrestling. They said, this is the new wrestling order. This is the new world order. We're what matters now, and we've come to destroy everything that you've ever believed in. They changed the wrestling world.
Yeah.
DX was two frustrated guys who were pissed off at Eric Bischoff because Raw kept losing over and over and over to WCW Nitro. If you have the WWE Network, it's on there.
Yep.
Okay, the Monday Night Wars.
I remember Monday.
Shawn Michaels was pissed off. He got hooked on drugs. Triple H was pissed off. They were disgruntled.
Yep.
They weren't happy, and so they started acting out. But the acting out started working. You know what I mean? How they were objectifying women, making jokes, telling people to suck it. It started working, and the ratings increased. So Vince McMahon and the USA Network finally, after trying to ban them, USA Network tried to block them and said, no more crotch, no more sexual innuendo or whatever. Like, they almost lost out.
Yep.
So here's what DJ and Vince McMahon told them, I will fire the both of you. Yep. So they had to come out and read an apology letter. They literally had to come out and read an apology letter and read the letter that USA Network had sent them that says you won't be doing this. So here's what Shawn Michaels and Triple H did.
McMahon after that letter too.
They literally came out, they read the letter, and they said, we will no longer use gratuitous gestures. And it was like, what do they mean by that? And they were like, I think when we tell people to suck it, they made a joke out of it. You know what I mean? And USA they laughed, the executives laughed so hard, they said, you now have free reign to do whatever you want, because they loved the bit, how they made fun of their own network trying to ban them.
And am I right when about them beating the shit out of Vince McMahon right after that? Didn't they kick his ass right after?
Well, Vince McMahon almost fired them after that until Vince McMahon himself got a phone call from the USA Network executives that they thought it was funny. But Vince McMahon was about to fire Shawn Michaels and Triple H. So D-Generation X became popular just by sexual innuendo. They didn't change wrestling. They just became more provocative. They became rated R, right? NWO, they didn't have to point to crotches or pull women's tops down, you know what I mean, or do anything sexual. It was about wrestling, and they were sick of the way it was, and they were going to write their own tickets. That's why I choose NWO over DX.
And I agree with you. I do.
Gotcha.
Ghost says one last question. It's the best tag team of all time. Any best group since the new era, 2014 until now?
The best tag team from 2014 and on? Ooh.
I've already got mine, and they just got split up, unfortunately.
It's going to have to be the New Day. It's going to have to be the New Day for me. Big E Langston, Kofi Kingston, and what are they like?
They
9 times
up though because of the draft.
Yeah, they're 9 times. Well,
that was going to be my number one pick as well.
Well,
was Kofi Kingston and Big E.
Well, Big E got split, but the other two are still tag team champions. Are still together.
That splits them up though. He said no tag team of all time, group for new era. What do you want, Cor?
There's no one else that holds a candle outside. I would say it's got to be the Usos or it's got to be the New Day.
Yeah,
they've had the most championships.
He says tag team of all time though, and then group for new era. So who's your best tag team of all time?
Best tag team of all time? Oof.
So new era, we're giving it to Big E and Kofi Kingston. I agree with you on that. What do you say, Hi?
I can only go back to the time that I watched, and when I watched, I would say Matt and Jeff Hardy. I love them as a tag team. and just everything about it. Like they were just an amazing tag team for me.
I could agree with that. The Hardy Boys were amazing. They're always fun to watch, and how they put their bodies on the line were
Like
really
that
great.
high risk, like bro, some of the stuff that they did was just ridiculous.
Dude, Jeff Hardy's still doing that in
Still
pay-per-views
going
to
at
this
it.
day.
Still
He's
going
still
at it.
climbing 25-foot ladders and
Man,
swan diving onto tables. He just did that a few weeks ago at the last pay-per-view. He's still doing
Yep.
that, bro.
Ghost said so. No Shield when they started.
Oh, the Shield was amazing. Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and Seth Rollins, they were
I
freaking
I had
amazing
a
and
hard time getting
dominating.
into Roman Reigns when he first started, and I think that's what kind of draws me away from them.
Dude, the Shield cut better promos than D-Generation X
They
ever
did.
has.
They
I'm
did.
sorry. They cut better promos than DX ever has.
Who's your best tag team, Lamb?
Best tag team of all time. There's so many because I've been watching wrestling my whole life. So I've seen
Yep.
Bret and Owen Hart. I've seen Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty. Let's not forget about the clear domination by The Undertaker and freaking Kane. I mean, Jesus Christ. But then I think about the New Age Outlaws. I think about the Dudley Boys. I think about Edge and Christian. You know what I mean? Like, there's
Edge and
just
Christian were
so
dominant.
many, bro. The funnest I like to watch myself, who I thought was the funnest, was the Dudley Boys.
The
I thought
Dudley
they were the
Boys were fun
funnest
to
to
watch.
watch.
They were.
Devon, get the tables. I loved it, bro. I loved every second of it.
Every single time, too.
Oh, dude, I hated Evolution. I love Randy Orton, but I hated Evolution.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of Evolution either. I'm not a Batista fan.
They tried too hard to
I'm not a
become something
Batista
great.
fan. I've never been a Batista fan.
Rated RKO was also good.
you
Edge
better
and
not
Randy
be
Orton.
mad.
That ghost says we agree on something. Hi, you said you're greatest of all time, right? Tag team?
Yeah,
Okay, you said the Hardy Boys.
yeah,
This is a
Yeah,
hard
Matt
one,
was always
chat.
2 steps
whatever.
behind Jeff, though.
This is a hard one, chat. Man, as Lamb said, the Dudley Boys were so entertaining to watch. And then you also had the Hardy Boys, which were so entertaining to watch as well. But as I stated, Chris Benoit was also one of my favorites to watch. And when you have a gold medalist and one of the best wrestlers to ever watch, or sorry, to ever wrestle and be in the game with you, as in Kurt Angle at the same time, um, those two are pretty damn near on the top of my list as well.
I didn't know he died.
Yeah, Benoit passed away.
Yeah, he
Passed
committed
away
suicide,
a long
actually.
time ago. Yeah, it was about
Drugs.
15 years ago he passed away, something like that.
Mental illness is a real thing. Mental illness is a real thing. I think he was mentally ill.
He was. And
Eddie Guerrero tried to help him. But,
yeah,
you know, sometimes your demons get the best of you, unfortunately.
But that tag team was always fun to watch. Because Kurt Angle would come out of nowhere as an ankle lock your ass and it'd be over.
Dude, Kurt Angle, when he first came into the league, he was okay. I loved him. But when he turned heel and started putting the black mouthpiece in and breaking people's legs and screaming, I was like, this is my dude.
Mercy.
I was like, this is my dude.
No mercy. Like,
bro,
you broke an ankle, you're not walking for weeks.
Yep. They would crawl right to the ropes. He would stand up, drag them to the center, and I was
and
like,
do it
let's
all over
go,
again.
bro.
Like,
yeah.
Nonstop.
That was my
like,
dude.
He wasn't having it. So I gotta give them as probably one of my better tag teams to ever wrestle is Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit. Because
Kurt Angle's one of my favorite champions.
Both of them on either end, no matter what, could pull a submission at any given time on you. Any given time.
Yep.
Anything else, guys? Anything else before we end podcast? We've had an amazing podcast today. There's so much love in our podcast today, guys. Not sure. I'm pretty positive I know who did the anonymous cheers, because I'm pretty sure it's the same person that gifted the sub to Ghost. We love you, Sunshine. You're always in everybody's community. You're everywheres and everywheres. We love you, Sunshine.
It's gotta be Atomic
Yep,
Sunshine.
yep.
It's gotta be Sunshine. When I saw her gift the sub to Ghost, and then I was like, anonymous bits, and I'm like,
Yeah.
who has gifted biddies the most in chat? And I was like, Sunshine. And I was like, it's gotta be Sunshine.
You are my sunshine.
So Sunshine, you guys are, everyone is absolutely amazing, guys. The podcast keeps getting bigger and bigger every week. We're getting more people in here asking questions every week. We absolutely love it.
Nope.
We can't ask you guys enough. We absolutely love it. Keep it up, guys. We do this every Tuesday and Saturday. It's gonna be a consistent flow. You'll always hear Cora in the background, obviously, like you just heard her. But we got these two goats above me, guys. We have our new layout as well. I hope you guys like the new layout. We're gonna continue to keep doing stuff and changing stuff, and to make this grow and to make this change around and keep bringing new stuff to you guys as well. And Sunshine says, "What did you say? I didn't hear you."
We said we love you, Sunshine.
We love you, Sunshine.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love you,
Big
Miss.
heart.
We
Big
love you,
hearts.
Miss Anonymous Gifter, Miss Anonymous Cheerer.
That part.
Ghost says if we have room for a fourth, guys, that's something we would have to talk into. We haven't really talked about anything regarding that, actually. Hiatus came out of nowhere.
Winzilla was trying to get in too.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
we've had Hiatus came in out of nowhere. JJ popped in one day and was like, "You guys should include this guy," and we're like, me and Lam were like, "Why not? Let's do it."
Yeah,
Like,
this guy is the
bring
sports
it
guy,
on.
100%.
But
yeah.
we haven't had anybody come in and said that they've wanted any opportunity to hop in or this, that, and the other, or really be outspoken about it. So that's definitely something that all three of us will have to talk about and to get into and get our opinions about and everything. But we always love the feedback. We always love the opportunities, and wouldn't see why not on why we could add somebody into the podcast as well. I mean, always other voices and inputs always make things better, and it also makes for fun times, and it also makes for arguments that can turn out into very good content at the same time as well. So that's always something that we're looking forward to, and that's definitely something that we're going to have to talk about. Like Lamb said, Winzilla is also included into it as well. He's been asking about it as well and wants to be included. So that's something that the three of us are going to have to get together with and see what we're going to want to do about it. And
Winzilla literally said, y'all need to counter to Lamb.
What did Win say?
You remember that? Last week he was all, y'all need a counter to Lamb. I'll be your counter to Lamb. That's what he said. I was like, come at me, bro. Come at me, bro.
Exactly. You ready?
So that's something that we'll definitely have to talk into. We
love
love
you, Wayne.
Sports Advocate, guys. We love Sports Advocates. So, like I said, it's gonna bring more topic to us. It's gonna bring more conversations. Oh, I didn't put the shout out. It's gonna bring more conversation, more arguments. It's gonna be better content. So yeah, that's definitely something that we're gonna have to bring into. I'm glad that people want to be included into the podcast and talk with us and be this, that, and the other. So we'll talk about it here the next couple of days, see how everything goes, and we'll do our. What do you think, guys? We want to give it about. You want to do Tuesday's podcast first before we think about bringing someone else in, or do we want to?
Man, that's up to y'all. Y'all, I mean,
It
I
don't
say
matter.
well, it's on your stream, Melby. I say you talk to Ghost in Discord or something like that, and then let us know what y'all let me and Hiatus know what y'all discuss, and then we'll give our feedback. But this is your sportscast, man. We're just a
It's
part
not
of it,
mine,
brother.
man. I
Yeah.
mean, me
We'll
and you
appreciate the
both kind of put it
opportunity.
together in a way at the same time. It's
Yeah. Our mind was in the same spot at the same time, Melby.
exactly. And all right, All right.
Yeah,
So
just have Ghost hit you up in
Ghost, hit me
Discord
up in
and chat.
Discord, man. Exclamation word Discord. If you're not already in Discord, go ahead and get in with us. Chat us up. Same with Winzilla. Shout out to Winzilla for me. Have him reach out to
Yeah.
us and everything, and we'll get talking and we'll see what we can get together and see what we can do,
Even
guys.
though you weren't in chat, Winzilla, I
Yeah, Win.
still love you,
Where you
brother.
at, Win?
Where you at, man?
Where?
I know you don't work Saturdays.
We calling you
I know
out,
you don't
Win.
work.
Where you at, man?
You ain't streaming. You on my friends list on Xbox. You ain't playing Xbox. Where you at, bro?
Exactly.
Huh? We supposed to be friends. Huh?
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Livin's been
guys.
streaming and raiding all day, and he been popping in the chat. Where you at?
Ooh, don't do it.
Speaking of JJ, guys, that dude's still going strong, I believe. Is JJ still going strong high?
I think he ended.
Did he?
Oh,
end?
he did.
Yeah, he got mad at me, but it's okay.
He got mad at you.
Oh man,
You'll
feels
be all
bad.
right.
Oh, that's
He'll
too
be
bad,
all right.
guys,
That's a whole
'cause
grown man.
That's
He'll be all right.
that's someone I did want to reach out to, and that's somebody I did want to raid tonight. Actually, was JJ. Big shout out to JJ. He's talked to us in Discord. Obviously, he's been struggling a little bit, so that's something I wanted to reach out to him was to raid JJ.
Oh, there's Living right there. What up, bro?
Bit, guys. I wanted to surprise him and to bring that up. We all love JJ. We don't like seeing him that way, guys, at all. We don't like missing JJ streams either, and it's kind of like the same with CB. When we don't see CB for a couple of days, we're like,
I was in
CB
Living
at?
stream.
Is CB okay? And JJ been missing for almost 6 days, guys. Now, like I said, he's been communicating with us and everything, but our thoughts are always with you, JJ. We know we know you got stuff going on, man. So we're always here for you. Everyone is here for you. The whole community is. And we appreciate you still talking with us in chat and communicating with us as well. But I honestly was going to raid you tonight, man. If you were still on, I was going to raid you. I wanted to bring your spirits up. I wanted to bring a smile to your face. I haven't personally raided you yet, man. But, that's something I wanted to do personally, was to actually raid you tonight. What do you mean I'm low? What'd I do?
I think your volume
My
might be
volume's
low.
No, it doesn't say so on my mic. My mic's almost hitting the red on OBS. That's interesting. You can't hear me? Interesting. Is anyone else in chat having that? The Sunshine says I'm breaking stuff. What am I breaking, Sunshine? What did I do? What did I do, chat?
You do, bro. What'd you kick?
What
What
did
did the
I
dog
do?
knock over?
Ghost says he can hear me loud and clear. I don't know what's going on, JJ.
The mic. Something's wrong with your mic, bro. That's 2 people. 2 people confirmed.
Maybe you guys have to refresh stream? Because Ghost says he can hear me loud and clear.
Melby said y'all's earphones are garbage. That's what he just said. He said y'all need some Audio Technica and get rid of them Beats by Dre. That's what he said.
Says you guys are up loud, but I'm low. I have it set up that way because in recent streams, Livin, you guys have had a hard time hearing them, so I've turned them up quite a bit, so I'm not over contradicting them at the same time.
High and lamb loud and you're low. What? That's weird. Usually Melby's the higher one.
Yeah,
and we're
that's
the lower.
that's why I had it set up the way it was, because normally I'm a lot louder than what they are, so that's why I had it set up that way today. Or actually the past couple of streams, so you guys are the first ones to say something about that. Yeah, I turned my mic up a little bit now, JJ, so you can hear me a little bit better. We'll probably just keep it at 5. Sunshine says the audacity. Lamb, how dare you?
Kraken! Unleash the Kraken! I didn't know you were unleashing the Kraken.
But
Sunshine.
like I was saying, JJ, if you couldn't hear me, man, I was gonna raid you tonight. I know you said you're good and all, but we all see a different side of it, and we know what you've been going through, man. So I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to raid you. That's gonna be our next goal, is to raid you next time. but I wanted to bring a smile to your face, man. I wanted to see that smile. We haven't seen you in a week, like literally a week, man. So the whole community's been worried about you. Um, well, hopefully everything's good. Much prayers to you. I know you say you're good, but we always want to make sure of that as well. And it was good seeing you back on stream tonight. I'm sorry I wasn't a lurker there tonight. We were pretty busy over here tonight answering questions with the podcast and everything. But we're always here for you, man. And I was going to raid you tonight. I wanted to bring a smile to your face. So we're going to get you next time for sure. Who do you guys want to raid tonight, guys? Who we raiding tonight? Who we raiding before we hop off pod? Anybody have any suggestions, guys?
Shelsky.
That was going to be my first suggestion. Shelsky is online. Bonehawk's also online. Does anybody else have any other suggestions, or are we going to go ahead and hit Shelsky?
Oh. I mean, Shelsky or Bone, because neither one of them are playing Destiny, so...
Yeah, Shelsky's on Doom, and Bone's on Star Wars, guys.
I say Bone, then. I say Bone. Because of Star Wars.
Bone would love it. Maybe
yeah.
Bone today, Shelsky another time. I got JJ next time no matter what, guys. So Shelsky will be the time after that. Okay, so we'll go to Bonehawk.
Peace out.
Bone is streaming Star Wars, guys. Go shoot him out. We're going to raid Bone. Oh, I almost didn't type that in right. He's got an underscore chat. We're going to go raid Bone. Thank you for everybody for stopping by today. We had an amazing podcast. You guys have been absolutely amazing. Thank you, Sunshine, again for everything as well. We will see you all Tuesday. Much love. Lamb hiatus, always good time, guys. Thank you very much.
Hey, yep.
And we will see everyone on Tuesday, guys. Later.
Laters.